welcome to the next episode of Talk to Me About, the Guilty Gear podcast where we talk about your faves and why you love them. I'm your host, Dee. Hello. Hi. And I'm here with my co-host, Jay. Hi, Jay.
Hello.
And Jay, you are sick right now. You are very ill.
I am mildly ill. I am a little weak. I could use some of Jam's cooking in order to improve my power.
I was so ready to go with you to Dunkin' Donuts this morning, and then I woke up and you were like, I'm dead. And I was thinking, oh great, now Jam's gonna be ruined. It's just gonna be me over here.
Yeah. I'm holding it together though. We're living.
But
I'll be fine for the next podcast.
But I am here today with 4 Jam lovers, or for Miss Cloudberry Jam herself. And let me start off by introducing Amadeus. Hello, Amadeus.
Hey everyone, this is Amadeus46 Art. I guess I'll just introduce myself real quick. So, I've been playing Jam for a really long time. In fact, my Dustloop account is dated from 2007.
Holy shit.
I've been a member of the Guilty Gear community for a very long time here, starting way back in Accent Core was my first game.
I was gonna say, which version of XX were you in? I guess Accent Core, right? So that was when Potemkin was a top-tier strike throw character, right?
Yeah, he was a gatekeeper, that's for sure. My technically first Guilty Gear game was the Game Boy Advance version of Guilty Gear X, which is really accurate port, but it was a Game Boy Advance game. But yeah, I've been playing Jam since basically since I started playing Guilty Gear.
Was Jam in Advance? Or?
Yeah, she was introducing Guilty Gear X, so I'll be happy to talk as much historical knowledge as I have on this character. I'm probably one of the stronger NA Jam players, I'll say, with confidence on that one.
You just came back from Roundhouse, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, controller issues mean that I couldn't really get a placement there, but I got 9th place at EVO, 25th at Combo Breaker, so I've gotten pretty good placements. I'm still hoping to break into a top 8 at some point. I definitely haven't quite got to that level yet, but always on the grind, so.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you gotta bust through Elven Shadow, SQ, Crocs and Socks, I imagine.
Yeah, Crocs is definitely going to be a tough nut to crack for that matchup.
I don't think SQ plays Exerd.
No,
really?
She's moved on to Strive.
She's a Strive player, yeah.
No, I swear she still enters and she plays Ram, right?
No, she's only a Strive player. She was a Sin player. She was a very strong Sin back when she played Exerd. She was one of the strongest Sin players. But
damn, who am I thinking of that plays Ram in Exerd and Strive then?
The Armando?
Solstice.
Okay, thank you. Alright, sorry, I complete noob there, I guess.
It's okay.
This is why experience is very valuable.
But thank you for coming on. I know I always see you online, just retweeting Jam stuff, drawing Jam stuff.
I have been around for long enough. I am fairly known as that Jam guy. So a lot of people, if they don't know who I am, they have known that I'm somehow tied to Jam. So
next up we have Akai. Hi.
Hello. I'm Akai. I've been playing Exerd for 4 years at this point. I actually started playing because of Ama, believe it or not.
Wow, the Jam agenda's working then.
Yeah, I followed him on Twitter because I needed help with something in the Jam Court at some point, and then I saw that he was hosting a little beginner intermediate bracket, and I entered that for a long time, and here we are.
I do not know how to block against this character, oh my god.
Just don't.
I will also say I feel pretty confident saying I'm pretty good at Jam at this point. I'm not great at the game, but I think I'm good at Jam.
This is also Gear, that's the same
good
thing.
Results. I think my last thing was 13th at Combo Breaker, 9th at ECT or something. That doesn't matter.
Holy shit.
We're just here to... and then... I don't know. I just love this character. I think she offers an amount of expression that's hard to find in fighting games in general.
Yeah, no, I definitely got that vibe just messing around with her back when I was playing Exerd. She's just so fun to press buttons on, I feel like, almost more than any other character.
Maybe it's me skipping ahead a bit, but I think the level up mechanic is just so fucking neat. The fact that you can change your specials based off how much you're charging, you can get different level of charges. I think that does allow you so much freedom with how you go about things. It's so cool.
That's the Leo player in you.
I'm not a Leo. Oh, you mean Tekken.
Leo Tekken, not Leo.
I see.
I was about to say, how dare you say that about me?
How dare you?
Yeah, I don't know how to talk about myself, so that's about all I got.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Next up, Coquette. Hello.
Hi, you can call me Irene.
Hi, Irene.
I'm a professional illustrator for the most part, and I'm also a TO for this game. And my husband and I run a lot of the Exerd, the sort of larger Exerd events for the community.
Thank you for keeping
including
the game
efforts
alive.
to teach beginners. Yeah, of course. Let's see. I've been playing Jam. I think probably around the same time as Akai. I had zero fighting game experience before Exerd, and everyone told me not to play Exerd because it was too hard, not beginner friendly, and I have so many capital O opinions on that stuff. As someone who has spent the last 5 years gathering data on how to teach beginners, I have a lot to say about that kind of shit. But anyway, yeah, and then
You must feel really
my
good about things like Jam Slam them, where it's like, hey, literally proving we can get like 20 random people that have never touched fighting games to start liking it, as long as you give them incentive and a good environment. So I think building up that environment is probably the most key thing of all with learning these kinds of games.
yeah,
True.
it's certainly a key factor. And yeah, let's see.
It was so interesting when Amadeus was like, hey, can Coquette join? I was like, or sorry, Irene join? Fuck. And I was like, yeah, sure, you know, more the merrier. And then I saw like, oh, you're the thumbnail artist for Court A. Oh my god, wait, you're a big time artist. So, thank you for joining.
I've done a lot of work actually with Arxis as well, so
Really?
it's been really cool. Yep.
I really like it's this old I think biking piece you did. I really liked it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I did a bunch of Arxis and Tenno collabs, the official Copic Strive collab. So if you go and get the Strive markers, the Copic markers,
Wait,
it's
you
my
did
art
those?
on the box.
I really like the Copic set you did. I really like the Heaven and Hell set. Very cool.
Thank you.
I couldn't buy it in time, but I do appreciate it from afar. And last but not least, Memorable Man, you have been on before, but you're here again. Hello.
Yes, I have been before. I was in the Faust episode, and it was a pleasure to be then, and it was a pleasure to be here now. I met Jam because I was playing with a college friend, which is, by the way, he only played one time. That was the only time he played, and he chose Jam, and I got curious, and then I tried Jam, and then I became addicted.
Jam
I started getting
taste
very
of the
interested.
jam.
Exactly. I got jammed. Jam is my jam now.
Oh, true.
And yeah, I started getting really interested in like her lore, her like how she compares against the rest of the cast in a lot of ways. How unique she is, despite how like relatively light she is in terms of plot relevance. And yeah, I just got addicted to her. I am an aspiring game dev, and I do Pixar commissions.
Yeah,
Yes,
I was gonna say, I saw your
your
commission recently for a VTuber. Very cool.
Yeah, you did Fuwawa and Mokoko?
Now I can understand.
Yeah, we were just talking, we saw your Fuwawa and your Mokoko that you did.
Yep.
Those were absolutely sick.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bow bow.
Real quick, I just want to say, does Jam have a raging demon? Is that what that is?
She
Not
has it in
really.
XX.
Well, XX, in Accent Core specifically, they did give her a hidden super that is a reference to Fist of the North Star. If I remember right, the input is forward, back, forward, half circle forward, punch and kick together. It takes
God.
100 meter. It takes a 100 meter, and it's 100 punches, all worth 1 damage each, which is a fairly decent amount of damage. The issue being that it is impossible to combo into.
So it's just more of those like vibes-based land that kind of thing.
Yeah, but it is a direct call out to Fist of the North Star. She even after the super is done, she says, "You are already dead," essentially. So
Yeah.
direct call out. So.
Oh my god, I just realized, do you think it's a pun because, oh, you know, omae wa mo shinderu, but, and then
Well,
how
she
she
does
ends everything with
say,
aru?
Yeah, she does say "Omae wa mo shinderu." Yeah, they actually. Funny thing is, they actually buffed that super in Accent Core Plus R to come out faster, but due to how untech timing works, your opponent, if you combo into your opponent, just presses a button and gets out for free. So still completely
Only
worthless.
so much that can be done. It's more about the sentimental value, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
So with everyone introduced, welcome all, by the way, I think now it's time to get into the nitty-gritty questions, which is, why Jam? And first of all, I'd like to say, like, if I'm on the character select screen, what is making me put my cursor over on Jam? What was it for you guys?
Damn
So-
cute.
She is! I really, really, really like her big forehead. I am such a sucker with characters with big foreheads, and she's, you know, unique characteristic. I like that a lot.
So I'm a competitive martial artist and have been for a lot of my life, and so I tend to really like the self-insert fantasy of a close combat, weaponless martial arts master, and so I tend to like the Bruce Lee stand-in in lots of fighting games.
Yes.
She actually does. She has a lot of Bruce Lee homages in her animations, which is really awesome, including. Well, I guess it's actually originally a Muhammad Ali thing that Bruce Lee then homaged. But if you stand still, if you just let her stand there and let her idle, she'll do the little shuffle and the nose swipe.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, baby.
Super cute.
It's so cute.
That's
But
interesting. I actually didn't know that.
I remember seeing her and being like, I would probably enjoy playing her. She's fast, she's strong, and she's cute as fuck.
It makes me wonder now if she gets into Strive, which I mean, I guess now it's an inevitability. I wonder if she'll have
Is
like
it?
the tracksuit
Why-
like Bruce Lee.
Wait, why is it an inevitability?
She just ranked #1 for most wanted character for Strive. So after the season pass, she's almost certainly getting in.
No.
So
Oh
after
yeah,
Yeah.
they're gonna ruin her like everyone else.
All of the Asian
I
countries
hate
have her
I think
number
they
one.
confirmed season 5, right?
I hate
Yes.
that.
They didn't confirm season 5 yet. No, I don't think they have.
I will just pretend she doesn't exist.
Yeah.
enjoy all this. Wow, they're making new Jam merch. That's so amazing.
Yeah, that's why did that start happening?
I think it's probably like the least favorite question I get from people when they come watch me. They're like, "Aren't you so excited for her in Strive? Don't you want to see her in Strive?" No. Why would I want that? I don't want to see my girl kneecapped like that. Please.
Yeah.
I had a long conversation over this weekend at Roundhouse. Adventure was there, Hotashi was there, so we ended up talking about Strive some. And I'm like, I don't think anyone who plays Jam and Xrd likes Strive because everything Jam does, Strive took away.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
Gatlings.
Yeah,
Like
like,
Gatlings.
Plus frames on normals, like having a huge wide range of combo options. Yeah, that's just gone now.
What, you don't
Sorry.
like only having your plus frame normal BCS? Come on.
Yeah, just-
Yeah,
Oh
and,
my
and they
God.
especially they're most likely going to take away her ability to like do combos that take you into the stratosphere.
Yeah, it's like it will be similar to I think what happened to Biken or Alpha.
Or
where it's
Alpha,
like,
yeah.
this is okay, this is the character's skin, but like if you play
Yeah.
the character in previous games, you're probably not
I
gonna like
cannot
it.
believe how
maybe
much they
one day
changed
they'll-
Spike and Elfelt and Sin. Like, Sin maybe a little less so, but oh my
Maybe
god.
one day
Viking
they'll
is different.
finally add Chip to Strive.
Oh. Ooh.
I was talking to
Recorded the tightrope back into exit.
a couple friends, and I was like, I think Chip is the least talked about character in all of Guilty Gear, and I think it's because of just how much like everyone does his job better in Strive at the moment.
He's also there's not many people who play Chip in most of the Guilty Gear games.
He
We
is a
have
character-
Marvello and Bean, and I don't even think Bean plays anymore. So
He was always a character that was like he's really popular to play as like people that don't play fighting games. They'll pick up Chip because like you can just press buttons and he'll do things and he's fast. But then you play the game a little bit more and you realize you die in one hit.
Yeah.
He has
Don't
to
wanna
work
play that
a
character.
lot
Yeah.
harder than a lot of other characters to do what he does, and
He has such much.
it's like
so
not
much
even like
execution.
he's not even like the best at what he does. So it's purely a matter of
welcome to the Jam
you
Podcast.
like
Chip
Chip.
is an honest mid tier.
True.
Oh, time out.
married to a
beat him
Chip
in the
player.
matchup.
So
I see.
I guess we do beat him in the matchup though, so we can't downplay him too much. But
What gives Jam the advantage? Is it just that she blows people up like in the same
Risk
way as
reward.
it's a
Yeah.
matter of math. Basically, her risk reward math just pays out insanely in her favor. Where he has to work really hard, and every interaction that he has to do up close with her is a possible death.
Yeah.
And
Like the-
she can eat hits from him, and then still just maybe slop a hit into death. So
yeah, between that and like her Hochifu, her 4-6 input, Chip's main
That's her
mix-up is a
parry.
left-right. Yeah. So because Chip's main mix-up is going for a left-right, Jam just ignores that. You can option select with your parry doing 4-6-4, and you'll either block or parry depending on which way he goes. So Chip has to then work harder to do more mix-up that is other counterplay to it that isn't as safe mix-up to go for. So
or just lower value.
Yeah.
That and Jam can basically like remove 70% of any character's health bar if she is in the right circumstance.
Yeah,
Yep.
round
saw,
start 6H. It's like, cool, next round, that's cool.
I saw Obama say once that Jam is one of the toughest characters to fight in Danger Time because she will just explode
yes.
you.
Yes, absolutely. So a big part of that is in Danger Time, anytime you get hit, it effectively acts as a free Roman cancel is the simplest way to think about it. But
You
Jam
get a
has
free
that,
counter hits too, right?
well, it's essentially you get a counter hit, but then you're able to cancel that counter hit into like a dash or FD or anything. But Jam has a 6-frame sweep, her Crouching Dust, and it's an extremely long range sweep, and it's also fairly safe to throw out there. And it's also one of her best starters, especially in Danger Time. You'll effectively be able to get that sweep, run up, do one of her most optimized combos. We call it a PK route. You're going to be doing like 70% of her life, and it's because your opponent decided to not hold down back for 5 frames. So,
Rookie mistake.
yeah. Common stuff your Jordans. All right, we'll go to the next round.
Even without that, like I'm pretty sure I'm always surprised by the fact that like I think her like fully charged like the Wacha kick. I'll just call it that, the Wacha kick.
Ryujin,
The
right?
fully charged Wacha kick.
Ryujin.
The Ryujin. It deletes like 30% of your health bar in one
That's
hit.
a lot of damage.
It is 110 damage. Yeah. Oh my god, the train.
No, no, not the
Oh,
train.
No.
Oh no,
I feel
the
nauseous playing on this.
the stage that. Oh no, I thought it was
That,
good.
that
It was gonna be
stage
like,
is like soft banned,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, I actually
Sort of
banned it at our last
same.
local.
Yeah, if anyone picks that, I will immediately be like, unless you want to see me projectile vomit, please change the stage.
That's the next level.
yeah, no, this
counterplay.
projectile is unblockable.
But yeah, her max fusion is 110 damage. If you cancel into it, it's 80 damage, but that is just an incredibly high number for a single move.
Yeah.
There's like a joke a lot of people, including Jam players, will say, you'll hear it a lot, where basically like, this character is so fucking cheap, right? She's fast, she's not quite as squishy as the other pixies, right? She can slop her way to victory if she wants, or she has high precision, like high execution ceiling stuff that she can also do that's super rewarding. She has literally no bad buttons, and she has a parry, and she has a standing low. She has all this shit. All her supers are good. Like, she has nothing
This is
bad
so funny
about
because this is
her,
all shit
and
that
this-
I have heard from my Exert friends. Like, I've got a
And
friend that, like,
Mm-hmm.
Basically, the only thing that holds Jam back is Jam players. that is what you will hear
Issue.
people say. Yeah.
That is it's a fun thing we have among Jam players, where like our first and most important rule is you are the best Jam player. Like, that is rule number 1. If you are listening to the podcast right now and you want to play Jam, congratulations, you are the best Jam player.
holy shit, I'm the best Jam player.
Congratulations.
Oh god, you know how to turn every single hit into a combo.
That's
It's so funny because I feel like so Jam is clearly in the class of gorilla, right? And for anyone listening who doesn't know what that means, a gorilla character is you could characterize it several different ways, but usually like high damage, right? Like
Plus
can
frames in
kind
your
of just
face.
mash.
Neutral
Very
skips.
aggressive, rush down. You'll hear those words attached to gorilla.
Uses
You'll
the
also
water as a
you'll also
resource.
see that like they tend to be very advantageous in scrambles because they can convert one counter hit and do stupid damage, right? So Jam players often get characterized as dumb gorillas, which is accurate. But the other thing is they're probably like the most sensitive to that insult for whatever reason. I'm not really sure why.
Because our
Leo
gorilla like
players
is
This is
hard
so
or whatever.
interesting. I did not
Everyone's
expect to
like-
have this kind of conversation for the podcast today. I thought it was gonna be like, oh, Jam players are honest. She might be a bit
Oh,
rushed down, but no, here you are saying
no.
like, oh no, they
Oh, no.
slop their way to victory.
We are-
They'll hate it when other people say that about them. You'll hear Jam players get really like pissy about it and salty about it, and then amongst themselves they're like, "Fucking Jam." There's a meme image we have in the Jam court of the guy kicking himself off the building, and it says like "fucking Jam players," and it's like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
like that's
I have-
yeah.
It's
have
so
met
funny because I've
some
seen that
people-
same image but with Venom.
The Jam brain is like a very common thing you'll hear too. Like, oh, they were using the Jam brain, I guess. Like someone else could
Yeah,
have
it's,
used it that day.
it's like, oh, I'm not advantaged anymore. I'm gonna throw myself at the opponent and try to be
What
advantaged
if I
again.
just triple down on this bad
Yep.
idea, and
Mhm.
eventually it will become a good idea because it will work.
If I
I've
may
met
ask, as
so
someone that
many
is very
Wow,
new
that
to
actually worked.
Exerd, and like I watch enough like competitive Exer, but I do not play it myself, and I do want to get more into it. How does she compare to like my main character Ino? Because Ino is a obviously Okizeme rushdown 4-way mix-up kind of.
Excellent choice.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Ino fan. I love Ino.
You're a huge fan of
Oh,
the
no.
Jam matchup. You mean?
This is the Eno podcast now.
I love Ino.
I mean, Ino's great. Yeah.
But how does she compare to Ino, who is also very rushdown focused? And honestly, I
So-
think
No.
Ino is top 5 in this game, right? So
Yeah,
Ino's
Ino is top tier for sure.
We'll say top 5, but top 5 in Exer is really more like a top 10. Is
Yeah.
generally what I
Yeah.
consider it. It's, I personally, I don't like talking about tier list too much, especially with Exer, because it's basically you're either Johnny or you're not.
Yeah.
fair enough.
Be
Jam,
awful.
I would consider to put on the top half of the tier list, we'll say. Definitely not within that upper echelon of like Johnny, Alpha, Amelia, Eno, as discussed, Venom, all these other indisputable, very high tier characters. But to that end, like I think Jam has a lot of the same matchup chart as in that like a lot of her, even her bad matchups, she can even pull through with just having a lot of volatility in the matchup, getting that momentum, and then just your opponent doesn't get to play the game. So who cares that
I
it's a
think
bad match?
more specifically to your question, it's Exert is kind of hard to put traditional fighting game archetypes to a single character. You'll find that some characters are zoner, grappler,
Yeah,
set play characters,
every character
right?
in
Like
this game has a set play orb that can do something, you know?
they can zone, they can grapple, like they can, they're all kind of mixed bags. And so I think more distinctly, you can probably say people are either like strike, throw versus set play focused, but even then, that's pretty blended. It's interesting that you call Eno a rushdown character, because considering her most powerful tools in this game, she would actually probably be considered one of the Oki queens.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
In that, like, her best case scenario is that she doesn't actually want to scramble that much, even though she does have strong tools for the scramble, the way that Jam does. But her strongest thing is she knocks you down, and then she makes you guess a bunch of 50-50s in a row, right? And so for that way, I would consider her a set play character.
Sorry. Yeah, but that was more me misspeaking, I guess, because I'm not the best with the terminology, and I took it more as like, okay, she goes for her Oki, and then she's up in your face, and that's like an aspect of Rushdown. But I guess it's more just so Okizeme is its own character.
Yeah, I
It's like-
wouldn't necessarily classify that as a rushdown.
Yeah, like I think there was that Leon Massey video a while back where like they kind of went through like every character in Guilty Gear is Rushdown because
It's
every
true,
character
yeah.
knocks you down and does Okizeme, and it's like, yeah, but then like compare every character to Jam, and like I think Jam is like the true. If you want to look at Rushdown and Guilty, you look at Jam.
Yeah.
The only one character in this game who doesn't like very obviously benefit from being in your face with your back to the corner, and that's Axel. But basically, the most advantageous situation in this game is you have someone in the corner and you're right on top. Every character in this game can do some bullshit to you once they have you knocked down and you're in the corner and they're right in your face. So that's why like the traditional archetypes kind of are difficult to apply to Exert. But yeah, I would say like Eno and Jam are. God, I could talk about these two forever, so I'll keep it short. But as it pertains to your question,
Yeah.
I would say they're both they're very similar in that despite what people say, and I think this is actually a huge misconception. I think Eno is actually similar to Jam, very good for new players. Her layer 1 stuff will get you pretty far.
Yes.
To me, in my
Yeah,
mind,
legend
next to
has
like-
it you can just fuck it Puffball, right?
Not in the,
that's not the tool I would use for Jam's like just win buttons, but yeah, they can both just press some buttons and do hella damage.
If you're playing Accent Core or Plus R, you're 100% correct. Yes, 100% of the time. Xer Jam actually has to play fighting games.
I would say Eno is probably the best bang for your buck in terms of like effort to results ratio in Exert. You only have to learn pretty like foundational Eno things, and you will just smoke people. Like once you stop dropping like the IDJK link, and you can just run her mix, like her basic ass mix on people, you can probably beat most players around that level.
I know I'm gonna catch a lot of flack for this, but one of the biggest reasons I haven't jumped over fully to Plus R or Exerd, despite liking a lot of aspects of their gameplay more than Strive at the moment, is that, like, as an Eno player, and especially as someone that just sucks ass at games, I hate not having a dash macro to help me with all my, like, air normals and things like that.
Yeah, you get used to it for sure.
Yeah.
It's like just a matter of like conditioning yourself, and then you'll see that Eno and Exerd feels so good compared to
Eno and
Strive.
Exer, yeah, and I'd say like Eno and Exer compared to Eno and Plus R. To be perfectly blunt, she is so much easier in Exer than she is.
She
in
is.
Plus R.
She's very
Yeah.
good at Exerd, yeah.
We have a whole, like, 2 or
Strive
3
Eno is
frames
like
of
playing
buffer.
her in the mud without one of her best tools.
Yes.
Every single time we have a Strive, someone that started Strive with Eno, and then like we just show them Exer Eno, and they're like, "Oh my god, this character!"
Yeah, I remember. I
That
think
was
Kid
Chastity.
Dracula did that recently, where it's like,
Oh, really?
oh my god, look at what we once had. No.
So Chastity, I actually dragged Chastity to Exerd because I saw them asking about playing Eno. And they were like, oh, well, I started playing Eno in Strive. And I was like, do you want to play a better version of Eno? And they were like, sure. And so, yeah, now they're like, one of the stronger
Another
Eno
one of the
players.
stronger
It's
Eno
so funny
players.
too that people have asked Daru, like, Daru, you ever gonna go back to Exerd Eno? Because Daru obviously top Exerd Eno, Eno lover, and he's just like, no, I stick with what's new. I'm just not my fate, but I miss her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're a pro player who is sponsored and needs all the money, you gotta stick with the thing that's being played the most.
It's actually
Yeah.
really funny because, like, I mean, just bringing it back to Jam,
Yeah.
a lot of like, and I guess I could say this because I'm just older in the scene, but a lot of like the players that started with Jam in Exer do not like Plus R Jam.
Really? Can I ask for clarification's sake? What is the big difference between Plus R Jam and Exerd Jam? And what are things you like, dislike of that sort?
So it depends. How much do you like playing a fighting game versus how much do you like playing as a boss character?
Which one is the boss character?
Plus R Jam? It's not even close.
Like Jim, like I said, is like, called a gorilla, dumb, whatever in this game, right? Plus our Jam is like on a whole different level
I
of...
really like
of-
how you say it, where like you put it as Plus R is too much Guilty Gear.
it's so dank. Like she's so ignorant in that game that it's almost not fun. Like she is so ignorant.
I saw a clip today of Plus
Akai,
R
you-
Jam, and it was just her wave dashing all over the place and blowing someone up.
Yeah,
Undeserved.
You actually played some Plus R Jam.
Yeah, I play her basically like
That was
She
after
can
you
You
Jam
can
Kuradoberi.
wave dash?
No, not actually.
Oh.
I from my no knowledge of the game, it just looked like she was dashing in and out of someone, and then just landed a sneak hit and exploded them.
It's Plus R movement, so like Jam just has good movement in Plus R, and it's hard to have good movement in Plus R. No, the big thing about Jam and Plus R is it's a game that is very hard to be stable in, like just due to the fact there's no
At all
it's an
levels,
old fighting game.
Yeah.
There's no buffer in it, so doing combos in that game, doing optimized good combos in the game is legitimately
Yeah, that's where you
very
have to start
hard.
measuring, like, oh, am I doing the safe combo? Am I doing what does more damage,
Right.
but is not possible for me?
But then you have Jam, who doesn't care. Her combos are actually all fairly easy. If you have the cards built, they're straightforward. There's a lot of untech time. Getting the timing to do the actual 6H stuff.
I
takes a
learned
little
her
bit of time.
6H wall loop on my Vita.
Oh my god, yes, Vita.
Yeah, I was a pad player for so long until COVID-19, essentially, when I switched to Hitbox. I was a pad player for so long because you could just play Jam so easily on pad.
Yeah, I also started as a pad player.
I've been
so-
a pad player till I died because I thought that the dash macro was easier, but I've got a Mayflash of F50 sitting right here that I just have
Nice.
not touched.
But yeah, like Plus R Jam is just, she doesn't have to sacrifice, like, do I go for this easier but worse combo? No, you just do the good combo that still does 70% of the right bar. A lot of people focus in on how good her 6H is in Plus R, and it is extremely good, don't get me wrong, but you then also have everything else that's good about her pressure kit, like her 5K, her 2S,
her 2P is insane in that game.
Like, she has everything else good about her pressure kit that she really doesn't even need her 6H to pressure opponents
He's a
effectively.
truly stupid character.
Yeah.
I can't believe she has 3 frames. That's fucking me up.
And it wasn't even her stupidest version either. Like, her strongest version she's ever been at was, well, Vanilla X, but that was not a good fighting game.
Yeah, that was.
It was Kusobe.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can get into the history of Jam, but like, if you guys don't mind, I can just kind of ramble about it for a while.
Oh no, this is really relaxing to me. I like hearing it. Go ahead.
So, in Vanilla X, the top characters were Jam, Dizzy, Johnny, and Milia. Because in Vanilla X, there are some things you have to. Major like system differences are: one, burst is not available. Like burst does not exist as a mechanic yet.
I did not know that.
The other thing is that in later Guilty Gears, if you hit somebody while they're knocked down, they're able to like tech away and like get a lot of invincibility and like wake up faster.
In the same way as like a KOF roll, or just like normal teching out.
Well, like even in an instance, like you'll see somebody like hit somebody OTG here in Exert, and like you'll see them be able to tech out, them get invincibility, and like fly away from their opponent. That does not exist in X either. If you hit somebody OTG, it standardizes their wake up time. So for characters like Johnny and Milia, those system mechanics are very important because it gives Johnny access to unburstable combos that lead to his unblockable setup, and Milia gets incredibly effective, easy, high-low mix-ups. For Jam and Dizzy, it's a third system mechanic, which is more of an oversight, and that's you can FD cancel any normal in the game. So if you go back and watch some Guilty Gear X footage of Jam, you will see her effectively, anytime she touches a grounded opponent, they are dead. They are actually dead because she gets to do a ground Gatling string into 2H, then FDC, run forward, do another ground Gatling string into 2H, continue to do that until she runs out of meter or her opponent is stunned and she insta-kills them.
Is there no way out of this? Like, there's no way you can
There's no
FD any of
burst.
this, or...
There's no burst. If you get hit, you just lose. Go to the next round.
So interesting that it's things like that then that made them create bursts. They're like, okay, no, this is too
Yes.
much. We're turning into a two-touch game.
Yeah.
We don't know how to fix
Your
this.
X is Kusoge. It is not a good game. It is not a good game to play competitively.
That's so interesting in retrospect now, knowing that, like, Guilty Gear has been Kuso for so long, and then just, like, XX it took them to not be.
It took them until
Did you
about
know?
Slash, I think, maybe even Accent Core to really not be considered just Kusoge at the end of the game. Because XX is probably the version of Jam I have the least familiarity with. My understanding, she was actually fairly weak in that version. She still had her high damage,
That blitz
but one
combo
of the
was
main
cool.
one of the main things was Puffball was actually multi-hit and unsafe on block. So she was still an effective character with her normals, but because you couldn't use Puffball as a block string, it just really didn't exist as a tool. It didn't give really any reward. So as far as I'm aware, she was actually somewhat weak in XX. But then obviously Reload, she was top 3 again. She was up there
What
with
changed for
Eddie.
that?
So in Reload, the big things were they gave her more traditional Puffball, as it is now, plus on block. An important thing is also she has her FRC point on her throw in the XX games, and I believe in Reload, typically throws have heavy force proration, so if you throw your opponent, the combo afterwards doesn't do as much damage. But if you FRC her throw in Reload, that proration is heavily reduced. So you get to throw your opponent and then do an unprorated air combo. Typically, their guard gauge is also cranked because they've been blocking Jam's pressure. There you can find.
Oh, so it's
footage-
fully unscaled risk, like, just everything.
Yeah, there is footage out there I could probably go find of Connie, the Japanese Jam player, throwing a chip player and doing 95% of his life bar with a basic air combo. So that's kind of. There's also the fact that it wasn't until Slash where Jam actually fell down to the power level where FDing was not as powerful in Reload, and her 5K, her standing kick had better frame data as well. So she could, once you blocked her, she was just on you. She had a faster air dash as well, so she could like far slash IAD and then just infinite you on as well as you're on the ground. She had so many great tools going for her in Reload. Unfortunately, Slayer was also top tier in Reload. So
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
how much are you gonna get? Slash, she fell down in the tiers again because, as I mentioned, the power of FD was improved, so it was harder for her to keep on you. Her air dash was slowed down. She was just kind of brought down a little bit to normal, but she's still fairly effective in Slash. Still a strong character. Accent Core, again, she was strong. Probably not in the top tier, but like Accent Core and Plus R, she exists in that. A very strong character, not top tier, but has good matchups into top tiers, so effectively strong. But definitely an Accent Core and Plus R, she's much more of a gorilla. Although I will.
How does she handle into the nightmares that are like Testament Zappa Viking then?
So she's actually one of the only characters in Accent Core and Plus R that has a good matchup into Viking. She's one of the few characters that can actually beat her.
She can just completely play around her Baku.
Yeah, so because of the way Baiken's guard cancels work, they all act during hit stop, but because Jam has several moves that have reduced hit stop, you can actually bait out those guard cancels and play around them appropriately. But this is something that continues into Exert even. Now for Testament and Zappa, there's some of her worst matchups, but she does very well into, like, say, the other top tiers of, like, Dizzy and Chip. She actually beats those characters fairly handily, so as long as it's not, like, the topmost tier, she's usually pretty good.
Yeah, Dizzy actually can't do her B&B on Jam because Jam's leg is lifted up when she's getting hit.
Oh, wow.
Back in Exert, please, I'm begging you.
It's really messed up. And in fact, it not only does it not work, her 2D will whiff and you can just charge Ryujin her, and then she's dead. It's really tragic.
Because it's Dizzy, yeah.
Say, someone mentioned, when was the burst mechanic introduced?
That was in XX that they finally added the burst mechanic, yeah.
Did you know that they named the burst mechanic the burst because it prevents you from bursting your bane while fighting Jam?
And
Absolutely true fact.
She always had card level ups, right? Or was that just Exert?
I believe that was actually always a thing. Now, it wasn't until Exert that they added the max card, though. So in the previous games in X and XX, I believe, she could get up to 3 levels. She got up to 3 charges, like, stocked. But it wasn't until Exert that they added the max card, where you can, like, get that super powerful version of a move. And yeah, just to, like, finalize how, like, the history went, they obviously added her in Exert Revelator, not Rev 2. She was quite bad when she was introduced in Rev 1, which is a fact that I will die mad about. Yeah, she was considered to be,
she was ass. Yeah.
She was considered to be the worst character in the game by several people, and it was not particularly close.
What was the problem? Did they just, like, not plus? Is it just she got zoned out by Johnny shit, doing Johnny shit, or?
She had effectively no reward. And so, like, while her normals and pressure game was actually still fairly good. It was what you would expect from Jam. But the problem is, when you're playing a fighting game, if you can't show that reward, show that, like, I'm going to hurt you, I'm going to push you into the corner, or I'm going to do a lot of damage to your life bar. If I don't have a reward behind what I'm doing, there is no neutral game. There is no, like, threat behind it. Rev 1 Jam versus Leo was a matchup in which Jam had to be right 7 or 8 times, and if she was wrong once and got counter hit by Leo's 5H, she would go to the next round. And there wasn't much you could do about it because Jam, she just had no combos. She literally, like, she could not get any easy knockdown. Her card charge took longer, so you had to give up Okizeme in order to get a card.
Stupid question, but how is her health in comparison to, like, Chip and other pixies?
Oh, she's much healthier than that. Because I mentioned earlier, that, like, as a pixie, as, like, one of those faster characters, she actually is fairly healthy.
Okay.
She has the health of what you would expect a character that needs to brawl to win the game would have.
She can use her life bar as a bit of a resource. She can bully her way in, take a few punches, and punch them harder. But in Rev 1, she couldn't punch harder. It wasn't until Rev 2 that, like, she's gotten a lot of buffs along the way from Rev 1 to Rev 2, but the biggest buff was adding the Puff, the S Puffball into the H Puffball, and that effectively just transformed everything, where now she can actually, without resources, get a knockdown from a combo. And then get advantage after carding up. So she can effectively play her game plan and just continue to run with her momentum. So Rev 2, she sits right in that, like, top half of the tier list still. And then if she is ever added to Strive, who knows where she's going to land. It really depends on, like, do they give her a +2 far slash? Like, they give you know? Do they give her that plus on block advancing move that they give to all the top tiers to make them top tier in Strive, you know? So.
Well, as it is for Season 3, if you're rushdown, you're doing fine. And
right,
so she'll be, I think she'll, no matter what, she'll land okay and people will complain. It's, honestly, I have tuned so far out of Strive balance discourse and how characters play.
Yeah. That's the way to be.
That's the best way to do it. Just turn on, anytime you see someone talking about having opinions about Slayer on Twitter, just go to a different tab and don't worry about it. Yeah, Jam's always been, like, she's had her ups and downs, but she's always been a fairly strong character. And I think that's why, like, people are so, like, have so much fun with her. I actually, like, this gets back into, like, competitive and the people that play Goku here, like, the fan base especially. Like, I always see in the fan base when I'm on Twitter, like, she's really not well liked by the fan base for a lot of for whatever reasons. But then, like, if you go to
For whatever
her-
reasons. I don't
we'll
like
get to that.
why.
Just earlier in this podcast, Jam players will slop their way to victory.
Yep.
if you go to like a major
People hate
zone-
Jam because it feels like an indignity to lose to her.
Yeah, you feel something that my friend Crab has said before
Oh,
is
yeah.
she just makes you feel stupid
Right.
when you're playing against her.
You're like, I shouldn't have
Is her
lost.
skill
I
floor
shouldn't
really
have
that
lost
low?
against that.
No.
Yeah, it's
Well, I would say she's one of the easier characters to get into.
yes. I would agree.
But she also has a really high skill ceiling, so
Yeah.
she's excellent in that way.
What
But
I
yeah,
think-
she is extremely easy to play. Yes.
Yes. What I think, what Kai
Oh,
mentioned
damn
with
it.
Crab, Jam has the issue where, like, if you lose to Milia or you lose to Eno, it can be because you got knocked down once and you guessed wrong. Like, you know, like, oh, I had Disco Kisame on me, and I just guessed wrong several times in a row. We'll go to the next round.
Jam is
Jam-
like, you did everything right, and then you got hit by 1-6H, and now
You got hit by 1-6H, and then you could have been right. You could have just blocked or jumped out of the throw or blocked the Karageki. You could have done something to prevent this, but you didn't.
Yeah,
So
or
you're
you put
saying-
yourself in a scramble situation and Jam hit one of her 6-frame normals that beats everything you could have done. You could have just blocked.
You could have just blocked.
So
And
the
like,
TLDR here is that people hate Jam because she makes you feel stupid.
Yep. Oh, absolutely.
nothing like I've been called a Viking player so many times by my locals because like I will do the thing where I put myself in a situation where I'm slightly minus or I whiff an anti-air and then I just parry afterwards and then they get parried and they get really mad at me. I'm like, well, why didn't you just punish me? Why did you
I'm
try to
reminded-
punish me if not then just punish me instead?
I'm reminded of this one saying about Potemkin that it said like oh Milia has to like Milia and characters like Milia and Chip they have to like do like several sums and multiplications and get them right, and then Potemkin has to make one long division a single time. Jam is essentially like that except she's not a grappler.
Well, she is a
Jam
grappler.
is a
actually. She's a
grappler.
better grappler than Potemkin.
Fun fact.
Wait, did she have a command throw?
No,
I would-
but she can do a combo
Yes.
off her throw, and she can do hella damage if she
Yeah,
wants.
She
I would
gets
say-
some of the most reward in the game off of throws.
I would say she is probably. It was a good design decision to not give her a knockdown from her throw.
Yeah.
If she had knockdown from her grab, she would easily be one of the best characters in the game. She has probably the best throw game in any version of Guilty Gear. Than plus R or Exit, I'll say.
wow.
And
This damage, okay? Oh, I fucking.
Yeah.
Really?
see
What,
her-
so what
would
does she
you
get
say her
off of air
throw-
throw?
so off of air throw in Exert, not much off of air throw.
No one gets that much off of air throw in this
Sorry, I
game.
thought you just said that she had the best air throw for that reason. Sorry.
Air,
Oh.
air game.
Oh,
Or throw game, rather,
Yeah.
sorry. No, in XX, she actually does get a combo off of her air throw if you have them in the corner. But yeah, unless you're Johnny, in Exert, you don't get much off of air throw. Which surprise, Johnny gets something that nobody else does.
What?
Yeah, I was gonna mention like, would you say her throw, especially on the ground, is like comparable to Johnny's because it throws you upward?
Yeah, absolutely. It's really good.
Yeah. So like in XX and Accent Core and Plus R, her throw input on 6H, it's a throw in ball normal. So you're already option selecting your throw in Accent Core or Plus R, where just anytime you try to throw your opponent, if they try to throw you, they get counter hit and probably explode. In Xrd, because her throw input is that 6H, that far-reaching roundhouse kick, she actually has the best throw range in the game off of the power throw just for throwing the 6H. It's
Yo.
Potemkin's throw range. So she has the best throw game in Xrd, and it's you can maybe argue maybe Soul or May can beat her in the throw game, but I would say Jams is better at the end of the day. Ooh, nice idea.
What is the input for parry?
4-6.
Just like in Ama's
I'm
name.
neutral.
Yep. Yeah,
I
everyone
always
thinks it's
forgot what it
64.
was. I never remembered correctly if it was 6-4 or 4-6.
Yeah, everyone's always like, oh, Amadeus must be like a Nintendo fanboy. Amadeus 64. I'm like, no.
Think about how,
Wait a
yeah,
minute.
the way to remember that it's back forward is that, think about how fucked up it would be if you could just OS it with the block at the end instead.
Yeah.
You know?
Think of Chip's poor lives every time they try to FDC mix.
Oh god! Oh no!
Nice block on the parry.
I got shocked by that.
Damn
ship is that does not have 9 lives.
Unfortunately, I don't know the combo structure at all, so all I can do is block.
And also, unfortunately, that Karageki, it's a 16. That Kara Max Geki is a 16 frame overhead that's plus on block. So
Let's be right.
Congratulations, you blocked it. You still gotta block the rest of Jam.
Yeah.
The rest of Jam. Amadeus and Irene, both of you had kind of offhandedly mentioned that despite kind of being regarded as the more technical game and pretty much like the whole franchise, that Exert and even specifically someone like Jam
Plus
can
ours.
still be.
I would say plus R is the more
Yeah.
technical game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one of the more. I just keep thinking of it. This is my
One of
horrible
three.
Smash Brothers poison brain being like, oh well, clearly Exert is the melee to Strive's like Smash ult. Which is probably a horrendous sentence for anyone to hear, so forget that I said that.
Plus ours, the
if
fucked
I-
up homebrew someone created and then had people play.
If I had to make my own version of that comparison, it's like Strive is Brawl.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I would say
Strive is
this
Brawl,
is
and XX
ultimate.
is Melee, and this game is
Yeah,
Ultimate.
ultimate. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Both of you had kind of mentioned briefly that Jam, despite kind of being a little bit more complex, like a lot of other Exert characters, is still very approachable for new players. And I was just interested to hearing a little bit more about your thoughts on that. And I think Irene, you'd mentioned like approaching characters in different layers, if that is anything, if I'm understanding correctly.
So this is how I usually explain Jam's ease of beginner use for most people. So this is my first fighting game ever, right? Which is, and you'll hear people be like, "Oh my god, that's crazy," and it kind of is. But I still very distinctly remember this moment where I told my husband, "I don't think I'll ever be able to do a combo. Like, I don't know how people do it. That's just crazy. Like, I'll never be able to do that." And he was like, "Okay, pick Jam." And I was like, "All right." We go into training mode. He's like, "Press, kick, slash, hard slash. You did a combo." And I was like, "Oh shit!"
It's funny, I was looking up combos for Jam, and what I saw was 5K, 5S, 5H into TK Ryujin, and I've been trying to do that this entire time, and I cannot.
No. TK
wondering where
Ryujin
you
is not
looked that,
beginner
yeah.
combo. That is a terrible.
look that
Here,
one
let me
up?
show you. Let me show you. I'll teach you how to do her B&B. Okay? It's gonna be 5K, close slash.
Yeah.
So you're just pressing buttons in order. 5K, close slash. You can do 5H, or you can just go to 2H, and then you can press 2D for the sweep, and then after you do the 2D, you know how to charge cards, right? It's down, down on a button. So it'll take the down input from the 2D into the card charge.
Wait,
so you
really?
Yeah, so if you cancel the 2D into just down and then an input, it'll give you the card charge that you want without having to double press it. So this is what it's gonna look like, okay?
Oh god, that's hard.
Oh,
Ah.
the cancel.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm getting it.
That's what it's gonna look like.
Yeah. That was actually like even back in
I did it!
Hey, perfect!
Oh,
Yay!
Really? Wow, making
Alright.
your point extremely tangible. Yeah, it is possible to
I'm a
play
Jam
it.
Pro.
Here's the other essential like baby Jam combo I teach people. Okay, it's gonna be her 6H, her counter hit 6H combo, which is her counter hit 6H is I would say her signature move. It's key to her entire game plan. This shit is the most busted thing she can do.
I was
right? Everyone
noticing
is
that it was
scared of
smacking
this
people
move.
into the wall.
Yeah, everyone is terrified of this move when they fight
When I was
Jam.
reading Dust Loop, Amadeus' Dust Loop, I saw that 6H is a crucial part of Jam, and I was like, okay, noted, I'll try to work that in.
Yeah, absolutely. No, this is like the one button everyone is terrified of when they fight Jam. No one wants to get hit by this shit. So what you're gonna do is, let's see, how do I get you to
I'm gonna put the
get
hitbox
counter
up
hit?
for it on the video here, because I imagine it looks stupid.
Oh, the
Yeah.
timer's gonna run out, so let's.
Yeah. Oh.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Nice.
Irene, I'll actually bring up even like to your point, like back when I was playing against Pat at Evo, I think like there was a distinct point in Game 3 where I just thought to myself like, I haven't pressed 6H very much this set. What happens if I just press it a couple of times? And I pressed it twice in a row. The first time whiffed, the second time I counter hit him teleporting, and Pat was very unhappy.
Do you know how to do the puffball inputs?
No, I know that Ryujin is this.
Yeah. So for her puffball, all you're gonna do is quarter circle forward, and then slash. We'll give you.
Really? I didn't
the
realize
S
it was a
puff.
Rekka.
Yeah. So
It's
the
not
cornerstone-
really a Rekka, but
Yeah.
yeah.
But the
It's
It's
command
like
slash.
a command
Holy
dash with
shit, she's
zero
got such a
variation.
cool slide.
I don't want to give you too much information to lose stuff, but I will. Let me just quick explain. So everything she has like kind of 3 main parts to her game plan, right? And one of them is things that branch off her command dash, right? Which is just quarter circle forward S, right? This is just your command dash. It's called Bakshu. Off of this, you can do a few different things. You can do.
Oh, this was the move out, the Raging Demon.
Yeah, if you press punch afterwards, right, you get the Maori
Yeah.
Komi, which low or goes under stuff, right?
This is the low, and then I imagine this is a mid, and then this is
They're all
just
yeah,
really
that's
big
a mid.
mid.
The only low she has is if you do the K, which is the split kick. Okay. You
Is
can
her
choose when in the dash to press the follow-up button so that you can actually get different ranges.
Oh, that's fucked up.
So you can like kind of adjust there, but it like that's like you don't really have to worry about that now. So the main counter 6H combo you want to do is you're gonna do 6H and then immediately go into Puffballs, and you can do S Puff into H Puff by just doing 236 S S H.
Yep.
That's it. It's super easy.
Is it
Yeah.
only on hit? Because I just tried doing it. It didn't feel like it canceled
Hit
into
or
each other
block.
yet.
So it has to be it has
Okay.
to be let's see.
Make contact, we'll say.
Yeah.
You can't whiff
So
cancel it.
just try the Puffballs first.
Oh, whoops, that's a throw.
All good, all good.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
So just leave out the 6H for
Oh.
now. Just do
Yeah.
Puffballs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then press H right afterwards.
Yeah.
So do 236 S S H.
Yeah, so after you hit the S, after you hit her with the S puffball, you'll press the H button. It's like a Gatling in that case. It's just a simple cancel.
Perfect. That's it. That's
Yeah,
exactly
there
what
you
you
go.
want to do. Do that like 3 more times.
Okay, Oh, fuck.
No, it's all good. All good.
Yeah.
I guess we can do training mode lab too. But anyway.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I'm
and,
sorry
like,
this is just turning into how to play Jam.
No. I think this is important. Yeah.
Yeah, especially for anyone watching this, like getting to watch the video, it's like you can honestly pick up Jam.
That was
and
perfect.
Woo!
Have
Yeah.
fun with her, and like this is what I wanted to bring up earlier is like if you go to like a major and there's like 8, we'll say there's 8 extra setups at a major, at least 4 of these setups will have Jam players on.
Yeah.
So
and,
try
I was
getting
so
the,
sad when
the
I went
S
to
puff
Evo
into
and I
the
missed
H puff.
you. I saw all the exert
Oh,
setups
yeah.
there, and all I saw there was Octopimp beating people up as a Temkin, but
It's okay, I came back and I
Yeah.
got him.
Amo was beating up Octopimp from what I heard.
Wait, show her the H puffball cross up.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So,
what the fuck was that?
so if you just do so the H follow up out of the Bakushu, depending on your spacing, if you're close to your opponent when you press the H button, Jam will automatically cross up the opponent. It tracks to the opponent essentially.
Jam is so fucking cool.
She is very fun. And
Try
that's what
try
I
doing
think-
the doing the S to H puff sequence.
Okay.
Whoa,
Oh,
oh,
whoops,
there
hold on. Oh, hold on. Oh, roll back.
Oh, a little bit.
So you're missing the S puff. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
there you
Perfect.
go. Yep.
Okay, now we're gonna add in the counter hit 6H, and it has to be a counter hit, so I'm gonna just be mashing some buttons.
Press 5K.
So you're gonna start with, you're gonna do 6H. Oh. Actually,
Yeah,
I can
that one.
demonstrate on you first. So you're gonna do, try just mashing punch or something.
Yep.
Mash crouch and kick.
Oh, yeah.
Crouch and kick's gonna be easier.
Yeah.
It's gonna look like that.
Yep. She gets a lot of corner carry.
Yes.
So we'll
That's
talk about that.
Indeed.
Yeah. So this is why people are terrified of this button. Not only does it do incredible damage and lead into some crazy combos, and it's super easy and it's meterless, it gets them cornered.
So I imagine it's something like this. Now, hold
So you want to start with the 6H.
on. Oh, start with 6H? Okay.
Yep. You want the counter hit 6H that lets you combo
There you
into the
go.
puffballs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You had the right idea. Yeah.
Perfect. One
Yep,
more time.
and
Let's
she
give him
takes
the
the
screen.
rest. Like you saw you knocked Irene out of the
Nope.
corner.
You want to do
Okay.
6H first?
You saw you knocked Irene out of the corner, and then Jam just automatically figured out tracked the other way with the H buff ball. So.
Damn it.
Well, just
Okay,
take it
okay.
down. Yeah, it's fine.
I understand the concept of it. It's just doing it.
Yeah. It gets a little fickle with the distance as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean,
Sorry.
Irene's going to good player habits, is holding down back while
Yeah, I
pressing
pressed down back. My bad.
player habit instead of the demonstrated habit.
Oh my god, I did it again. Sorry. There we go.
Sorry, I keep getting mixed up in my head. Like,
start
oh, do I
with
start with
6H
6H or start with
start. You want counter hit 6H starter is the core to her kit. Always start with the counter hit 6H. So, you can also the reason you're getting hit is because you're trying to start the 6H too close to me. The other reason why people are scared of her 6H is because if you run, everyone is expecting this. Everyone is expecting this distance. Everyone knows to play around that distance, and they will make you whiff it, and then they'll kill her. What you really want to do is you want to run and then press 6H, because that hitbox comes out so fast, and it gives her hella range, and it will just kill them. So let me move out. Yeah.
And like the reason I even brought
There you
up,
go.
like, just match 2K
So press
like
the
that.
puffballs. Press the puffballs sooner.
Yeah, the reason why I even brought up like press 2K like that and like is another point and reason why 6H is so good. It just goes over those levels.
You just DP me.
I don't know how that happened. I've been having some.
Wait a second. 6H goes over lows.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Jam
it
has
low
a-
crushes, yeah.
Yeah, that
Oh
has
my
actually been a
God.
consistent part of her kit in every version. Her 6H has always had some amount of low invulnerability, which ties into like also on her parry, being able to parry mids and overheads. She also has the low crush of her forward heavy to go over those, and that's been a consistent part of her kit in every single version of Guild Simulator.
Nice. Now you can do jam combos.
There
Hooray!
you go.
Yay!
Landing them's a whole other problem, but yeah.
Yeah.
And the best
It's
part
okay.
is
People
like,
are way more scared of you than you have to be of them.
That's true. We are spiders. We're spider monkeys.
It's so true.
I cannot believe Jam has tracking. That felt insane to me that she just automatically turns around and then like
yeah,
cool.
D. So remember, just remember rule number 1 now.
That was perfect.
Let's go.
Yay!
You
And
best
then,
jam
if you
player.
want to add a little bit of extra spice to that, you can charge a card right after.
Shit,
Yeah.
where's taunt on this? Oh, I don't have taunt. Oh well.
And then as you play jam, you'll see like the puffball's not connecting. You'll learn to adjust the distance where you start the puffball.
Yeah.
So like I said, you can press the follow-ups anytime during this dash, right?
Yeah.
Even like this short, right? And then you'll learn to kind of eyeball it. But yeah.
And you like learn where in matchups it's good. Like against Potemkin, Puffball is almost never good. But then like you'll be fighting like Raven, and it's like, oh, okay, I can zone Raven out well with Puffball. So, like you can figure out those spacing. Yeah, like to this point, it's like you've learned like 2 combos, and now you can play a competent jam. But then
That's
like
yeah.
she has so much expression in like her more advanced combos and like everything else she has.
Do you remember?
in
Can you do the BMB? Do you remember how to do the BMB?
I don't remember it now.
It's just her buttons in order.
Oh wait, no, wait, yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh, whoops.
Good job.
Full diary.
I think I remember one of her like trial combos has like the split kick, but like you have to do it like the second you start the command dash,
Yeah.
like immediately.
Yeah, like one of her one of her combos, like that you see a lot is like 2D into split kicks and red Roman cancel in order to pick up. Basically, like the highest level of jam routing all involves using the moves Hochifu into Zeke into Dawanga, which is 4-6 PK. Irina, if you can just demonstrate what the moves look like, if you don't mind.
Wait, for what?
Just Zeke into Dawanga, 4-6 PK. So yeah, just that move. The reason why they're very advanced is that move only combos if that punch hits latent active frames. So you have to be very aware.
Oh, you have to actually delay that timing yourself
You
then.
have to,
It has-
you have to be aware of your opponent's hurt box, how much time they've been comboed, like how high they are in the air. So it
Yeah.
becomes,
I was gonna say then, how
We should
character
show
specific are
them-
Jam's combos?
yes.
Oh, we should show them the
Very.
spreadsheet.
Yeah, like I can get you the spreadsheet, and like if you want to edit it in.
I am
Yeah,
used to
Jam-
crazy character spreadsheets because I saw the
Yes.
spreadsheet for Bedman combos and it's like, oh man.
Jam is like a gorilla with like a scholar hat on, you know? Like
Yeah.
the nice thing is you don't have to ever do her super high execution PK stuff, and you can still just fuck people up.
Yes.
But that's kind of like where the crackheads gather. They're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, this is why I
Why
play
are you
Jam.
calling me out? I'm in call.
Well, this is like why I think a lot of players that started with Extra Jam don't like Plus R Jam is because
Yeah.
they like having that advanced combo theory and having this like harder and Plus R Jam you do charge
Square hole.
fusion and then do a 6H wall loop, and then you're done, and there's not much more. You
Yeah.
can do
Stupid
more
question,
combo
but what's the
expression, but you-
population difference between Plus R Jam and Exert Jam? Because I see
Exert-
a lot of Exert Jam whenever I look at tournaments, but
Yeah,
I'm
she's
not
very
positive
popular
for
in
Plus
Exert.
R.
Plus R Jam is I think I can think of like 2 strong Plus R Jam players off the top of my head right now. Actually, well, okay, I'll think of 3, and 2 of them are in this call right now. And that is actually myself and Akai.
Oh, I know a strong one that isn't a Jam main, but she's really good at playing Jam
Oh,
and
yes.
Plus R.
Oh yeah.
Of course.
So a lot of players that played Jam in Exert that went to Plus R, actually a lot of them go to ABBA. Because ABBA has that very extensive, huge combo routing and very difficult combos to go to. And plus, like her pressure
I
in
mean,
Plus R, her
ABBA always
isn't
seems
as
way-
open
Here-
in Plus
here-
R.
Way more skewed risk reward though, because you have to balance a character with not great buttons for like 20% of the match.
Here's an interesting perspective. So there is a very strong Leo player in Exerd named Why Have I Done This? His name is John. He is very good.
I love that
He
guy.
plays Jam in Plus R, and the reason he doesn't play Jam in Exerd and he went to Leo is because Exerd Jam was not ignorant enough for him.
Yes.
Like that's where
remember,
I was like, oh, I see. Okay, yeah, like
Less
that's
I
People
think
totally
Hotashi
released.
made a video about it forever ago, and it was some person that obviously did not play any Guilty Gear whatsoever that was like, oh, Strive Leo is so much easier and dumbed down than Exert Leo, and then everyone pulled out the video saying, you don't know anything, watch
No.
this.
No, I do enjoy watching some of the we'll say content creators that I know are strong players. I appreciate Kizzy making the original video of Jam as an ignorant gorilla, and then followed up by these Jam combos are really hard actually.
I remember his Exert combo trial era.
Yeah.
Actually, you guys mentioned like characters like you said that Batman has Excel sheets, but like can we like remember that Elfeld has an entire PDF dedicated entirely to her shotgun stance?
Okay, how to deal with
Yeah,
alcohol
but okay, let's
compensation.
not get ahead of ourselves here. Elfeld does have challenging things.
Are those also
but
are the challenging things also the players, or?
Yes,
let's just
actually,
say
we
she's
have
a
this
feat
discussion.
of human engineering. We'll leave it at that.
Okay,
Yeah.
memory splash.
Yeah, let's just say that the hardest thing about playing as Elfeld is that like after you finish the fight in the game, you have to fight the player in real life.
Like
Yeah.
her stuff just works, and she doesn't have to risk much. Jam PK combos, and we'll show you the spreadsheet later, is different per character, per situation, per starting move, and where they are in the air. You have to manually adjust. It's so difficult. Like there's no point in like memorizing stuff. What you eventually realize when you try to memorize it, because everyone's like, oh, I'm going to memorize these routes, right? What happens is you kind of start to understand the geometry that's going on, and then you start to learn crazy shit like really specific button interactions. You're like, oh, this character is not high up enough for me to, because that is the exact amount with the exact right button that will lift them up just a little bit higher so that I can finish this combo.
Yeah,
Like
the
that's how precise it gets.
The way I generally introduce people, and I recommend people to learn her PK combos, is learn it on a character like Sin. Sin has for some whatever, thank God given reason, perfect way
You can
to
just
hurt
do
boss.
everything on him, yeah.
Everything just works on him. So learn them on Sin first, because then you can get the muscle memory of how to do 4-6 PK in a combo. Or learn it from a counter hit Puffball, because that gives you that ground tumble, very stable, like this is always going to give you the same spacing, the same height. Learn it from that so you get that muscle memory, but the more you, like, what we always tell beginner Jam players is like, you will drop 1,000 PK combos in order to hit it once in a bracket.
You're making
And
it
then-
sound like 99% of gamblers stop before they hit the big one.
No, it's not that. It's we're bringing it back to Bruce Lee here. It's I fear not the man who has practiced 1,000 different kicks. I fear the man that has practiced one kick 1,000 times. That's where we're getting at with this,
Yeah.
where you have to see how this doesn't work so many times so you get how it works, and then you can just that's where you get to that. Oh, I touched you, and now you're taking 60% of your life bar. It's just
Yeah.
wrong.
The master has failed more times than the novice has tried.
True.
She also has this one fun, kind of a tangent. She has this one fun combo that only works on blonde characters for some reason. Mine is.
White people combo. Let's go.
Johnny. I think
It's-
Johnny's the only one that doesn't work on.
Are you kidding me? It
Yeah,
doesn't
we
work
call
on
it the
Johnny?
blonde bow. We call it the blonde bow. I'll link it for you. But yeah, it's kind of it's pretty difficult because what you have to do is you have to get a counter hit 6H and then connect the split kick after
It's
that.
just, I believe it's just normal hits.
It looks very thin there, so
don't-
I don't even understand how.
You're right. It might be normal.
Yeah, it's just normal hit 6H, and yeah.
It's one of those fighting gamey combos where like you cannot trust what you're looking at on the screen. You actually have to press it way later than you think, and then you can juggle million to death or whatever. But it's a really strange one. Also, my menu button no longer works, so that's
Oh no!
Congratulations.
Kind of weird hitbox.
Jam has a lot of funny combos that you can do on different characters. Like on, I think like Faust and A, you can do like her 2D and then actually IAD after the 2D and pick up into a combo off of that. She's got like a ton of different, there's like weird ways you can start a combo and start routing, and it's
Also, I don't know if this is karma or cruel irony or whatever, but Jam actually has a really hard time comboing Jam. I mean, I think most characters have a hard time comboing Jam, but like Jam is just hard to combo.
she's hard to because she's got that front leg up in the air. Yeah, you're just like, I'll sweep her. Oh, I whipped.
Oh, poetic.
But then
This
she's
is
really
this is
easy
this
to
is the
PK.
anti-Jam button. This one.
Oh yes, the 2S.
2S.
Her
Oh,
worst
2S.
enemy is herself.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, like she's like hard to combo when she's on the ground for Jam, but then like she's one of the easiest lightweights to PK. So
She
kinda
is.
weird.
She is. You have really twisted ideas about what's easy to PK.
I don't. Maybe
I
I'm just
think
too long.
Jam's one of the easier characters where once you get the PK, the Puff works on her.
Yeah, that's true.
So disagree with this. I think Eno is the easiest.
Oh, Eno's by far the easiest, along with like
Yes, I would agree
Jacko.
with that.
Jacko and Eno just like their falling hurt boxes are very low.
Yeah, I think those two are the easiest to PK.
I think the hardest combos Jam has, the hardest characters Jam has to combo that you can still get a PK Puff on are probably May, Faust, and Axel, I would say.
Slightly
have the
unrelated
characters that-
from the podcast, as someone that was, mostly Strive coming into Exerd, does it not get tiring knowing that you have to know so many differences between all the characters and like
Nope.
changing
No,
up your
it's fun.
combo?
Nope.
I love that
that's the
shit.
fun part. Like that is absolutely the fun part.
Alright,
it's
Alma, your
just-
turn.
Alma, you want to get on?
Oh, my turn. Okay. It is absolutely the fun part, just like being able to. Oh,
I think
should I-
whenever people complain about like how many
Should I get out?
factors.
it's up to you.
Yeah, live your life.
Oh, you're good.
No, it's not that I'm complaining. I'm just like, I
Oh,
always
no,
found
no,
it
no.
to be a
I
huge
didn't.
hurdle for me.
I was not ascribing that to you. I'm just saying when people bring up like, oh, there's too many factors, weight differences, and wake up
Wake up timings
variable wake
and-
up timing, blah blah. I'm like, why would you deny yourself opportunities to be more badass? Why
Yeah.
would you deny yourself the opportunity to learn how to be even cooler, even better, even more skillful? Why would you deny yourself that?
It goes back to a video I
can
saw
do
a
this.
long time ago that was like the death of the combo video, and it's that like because by streamlining everything, and the example brought up was Grand Blue Fantasy. You deny yourself the opportunity to express player expression in combo. Very just that kind of idea. Sorry, I'm losing
Yeah,
my
if
train
you
of
lower
thought
the
here.
complexity, then there's less that you can like focus on and express
Yeah.
yourself through. I know what you're
Yeah.
saying.
I just
I
had a
know-
conversation with my husband about. I mean, my husband and I talk about this all the time because he's working on a fighting game. He loves difficult fighting games. He's also a martial artist. We both very highly value difficult skill acquisition activities, right?
He's
And-
working on a fighting game?
Yes, he's working on 2XKO. Yeah.
Oh, wait,
That's
really?
insane!
Can we name
Wait.
drop him? Is that okay?
Oh yeah, he's Pat the Flip.
Oh!
He's a fighting game guru, I would say. Like he gets paid to be an expert on fighting games, and he also has capital O opinions on this kind of stuff. And basically, the trend with modern fighting games is, and we could slap the fucking El Capitalismo JPEG on here, but because they have to sell, they have to appeal to the largest possible audience, and statistically speaking, most people are scrubs, right? Most people suck at this stuff, and most people don't know how to handle those emotions, right? Most people don't know that.
If I may jump in super quick, I don't mean in this in any kind of sense to derail your argument, more just to provide a similar voice. And it's that I was one of those people that jumped in with Strive, and I specifically jumped in because Strive was an easy fighting game. Because I really, really liked the story of Strive. I loved the music, and I really liked fighting games in general. I was someone that tuned into Evo, and even if I didn't quite understand it, and Strive was what made me take the huge jump because it was easier to do things. And I think the fact that counter is so big on the screen, the fact that you really feel the weight of all your moves, the fact that things were slower and more ground paced, it felt so good to me compared to, I had played Exer before, I had played CVS2, none of them got me to keep going back until Strive, and I don't mean that in any kind of sense to be like, oh, you know, everyone's a sheep and this and that. Like, that was just my experience. And, like,
Exactly.
the thing is, too, the more experience I have with fighting games, the more I agree with you. But, like, I can't deny that was my experience. And that's what, like, a bunch of my friends had also experienced as well.
That's by design, right? Like, that's the way those games are made and marketed. And so I started Exerd kind of around the time that Strive came out, and everyone told me I should play Strive, right? Because it's the quote-unquote easier one. The thing about streamlining fighting games like that is that you actually make the experience worse for beginners. It seems counterintuitive because you're like, well, there's fewer things to learn. It's easier to do stuff, right? And there's more RPS situations for beginners to feel like they're doing better than they actually are and to keep them hooked in the game, right? And like that's great. And if it gets people into the fighting game, then whatever. Like if they're having fun, that's awesome. The problem with that is that it doesn't retain players as well. And the issue is you run out of things to learn because there's just like empirically less stuff to learn, right?
This is what I've been hearing recently about Tekken 8, where it's like, okay, this game was, a lot of things were made to add more things to skip neutral, damage is high, things like this.
It's just to
more
make
streamlined
people
characters.
feel good.
No,
Yeah.
so that people can join the game, press a couple buttons, and feel good for the casual experience. But then those people jumped off, and the only ones left with it are the pro players that are not liking it. So I just wanted to know if that was relevant to this conversation at all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
and like
that
the thing that
sounds-
happens in a game like this, right, is that once you run out of the stuff to learn, like all combo or whatever, the thing that you are now left to learn is neutral and footsies.
Yeah.
And that stuff is very opaque to beginners. That stuff is like it takes you can't shortcut learning that stuff. Like, you can grind combos and just learn the execution. You can't grind neutral and just learn it in a week. Neutral comes with experience and time, right?
I don't know if this is NDA at all, if you're even allowed to talk about it, but has there been feedback from your husband with the 2XKO beta and how newcomers felt with neutral and learning that? Because obviously the execution for 2XKO was easier and with simplified inputs, more akin to like a Smash Bros. Title than other fighting games, which, first of all, I miss inputs. I like inputs way too much for that. Traditional motion inputs is what I mean to say. How was the feedback he received about newcomers with neutral? Because I remember hearing a couple people with the 2XKO beta that were brand spanking new to fighting games be like, oh man, I can't do this, I'm just not touching it after.
D dropped out again.
Sorry.
I will just bring up real
I'm not
quick-
going to talk about 2XKO if that's okay, but just
sorry,
to finish
sorry.
my thought. No, it's okay. But just to finish my thought here is, oh, I got kicked out of the lobby.
Same.
Oh no!
Oh wow.
So that why Exert is actually better for beginners, and I feel very well equipped to talk about this topic because I have 5 years now, almost 6 years worth of data on my experience as well, but also onboarding a bunch of people with zero fighting game experience who are now some of the best Exert players we have. And
Really?
yeah, so my husband and I spent a lot of time and effort to rebuild the Exerd community. But before we brought back Wednesday Night Fights for Exerd, Exert was kind of almost dead in terms of like community and activity. Like there had been some efforts between Exert's heyday and pre-pandemic to get some stuff, namely an exhibition series called Tension Pulse. Shout outs to Ava and Michaela. But it got kind of quiet and people weren't running locals and whatever. And I remember
it was very fragmented, yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of people just stopped playing. And I remember Pat was frustrated, and he came home one day from Wednesday Night Fights, which was like, there was like 3 people, and it was like Dave Mendo, who's like one of the country's best players, just labbing on a setup, and then like everyone else would kind of hang around. And he was like, well, I didn't want to do it, but I guess I have to. Like, if I want to get better at this game, I can't afford to fly to Japan, so I guess like I'll just make everyone around me here better. And that was like 6 years ago, and now we have NorCal has like one of the most active Exert scenes.
Yeah, but like one of like the biggest Exert scenes.
Have you guys
we also run like the premier weekly Exert event, which is called Rev Tuesday.
Silly I'm aware of Rev Tuesday, and also silly question: are you aware of Ratio Mania? Oh, sorry. Is that a dumb question?
So earlier, Irene mentioned about how her husband and her have run a lot of the big Exert events. Yeah, that's theirs.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that was a really stupid question. That's the one event I really tune into all year, and because one of my really close friends, not super close, but my friends enters it and usually does really well. It's Thumbtack, the answer player.
Oh my gosh.
Thumbtack's a great ball.
Local.
I love Thumbtack.
Thumbtack is my local, and I love Ryan very much.
Thumbtack,
that's really funny.
Yeah,
Ratio Mania is our event.
Yay!
Yeah, we are in the midst of planning our December one this year. But right, so beginners, right? So
sorry, that was a completely stupid question.
No, it's fine. So basically, what happened was we were like, how do we get new players in? Well, we could run open brackets and just get people playing or whatever. But what we need is fresh blood. So we started running beginner brackets. And that's what started this whole thing. And what we learned, and actually like Thumbtack was in those and all that stuff. I have a really good clip. My beginner bracket that I won was grand finals against Thumbtack back when he played Chip, and I slopped my way to victory as a Jam player would.
Let's go.
It was excellent. It was probably like the worst 5D I've ever done in my life, but I clutched it out. We learned a lot from doing this, and what we learned is that the level of complexity in a fighting game has zero relevance besides expectation to new player retention, basically. Well, the high complexity has no negative correlation to player retention, basically. And it's because if fighting games is a new experience for someone, everything is going to feel overwhelming. It doesn't matter how many systems the game has. If the basic stuff is unknown to someone, then it's all going to feel new and complicated and difficult, and everything is going to feel fast and overwhelming. It doesn't matter. The thing about Exert compared to Strive is that it actually just lets you feel cooler because it lets you mash more stuff, and it has characters that let you slop your way to victory. And it just looks cooler because you get million more moves to do things. And what we learned is that beginners just want to look cool. They just want to press the button that makes their cool anime character on the screen do a crazy thing, right?
I feel like I'm holding onto your shoulders and I'm looking at you and I'm dead in the eyes and I've got like eye bags. I cannot get my friends to play fighting games no matter what I try. And anytime we do, all they want to do is say, okay, what input gives me super? Okay, that's it. That's all I want to do. That is an exact conversation I've had. And I've been like, okay, do you want to look at any of the other command lists? Oh, do you want me to tell you about this and that? And every time it's, no, I just want to do super. I just want to do the super.
It is really hard to get your friends to play fighting games. It's much easier to make friends out of fighting game players that are already like locked into this kind of thing and are
so
willing to
true.
be a part of this experience.
Also,
but the thing you need to prioritize with new players is you have to avoid any amount of technical stuff. Any amount of it. Like, if they seem interested, then teach them one really basic thing, like I showed you, right? Like, just super basic shit. Only if they show that they're invested. The thing that gets people to keep playing this shit is just having fun. The moment you make it feel like homework, they're not going to want to play it.
Yeah.
If you're like, here's the silly shit, here's an IK, like, just try to land this against each other, and just run a few sessions with that. Eventually, they might be like, well, okay, well, now I want to like land another thing.
Do you
And
get
that's
that at
when
your
you show them the next
beginner
thing.
brackets though? I imagine if you're entering a beginner bracket, you're someone that's already looking to get into the game, though, right? Or is that a stupid question also?
Well, this is the conversation about getting your friends into it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But yes, with beginners, it's the same thing. You cannot overload them with information. You have to make sure that they're having fun. So my coaching tip for people is always like, just show them one thing at most, because they're not going to remember anything else. Just show them one really basic thing. Don't explain conditional things like, oh, well, it doesn't work in this situation, but it'll... Don't do any of that. Just be like, yo, press these 3 buttons. Boom, you did it. You're awesome. That's it. That's how you get new players in. That's it.
Also, something that I think helps Exart in this case, in terms of players just want to be cool or like have fun, is things like danger time and things like when like both players are like at really low health and they both throw an attack at the same time.
Oh yeah.
And, the game,
And get the slowdown.
Yeah, like
And
things
like,
that.
you mentioned this before, D, right? Like you said you loved like the big counter hit screen on Strive, right? Like that shit. Like
Yeah.
you want to feel cool and cinematic and whatever. And like the other thing about Exert is because it has, people will be like, oh, there's too much stuff to learn in this game. And like I said, it doesn't matter to people who've never played a fighting game because they don't know. They don't understand the size of the mountain because they can't see it. Every mountain is going to look the same if there's just a fog everywhere. The thing about Exert is that you feel really good when you learn a simple thing, right? Like, and this game gives you a million little things to learn up front. And so you just feel this constant upwards euphoria as you're like, oh, I learned a new thing. Oh, I learned a new thing. Oh, I can do it now.
Another thing I want to bring up for like positive effects, because Kai, I know you and I have actually talked about this with some other friends, is that like comparatively as well, Exert it's still got that old game like what Irene's talking about, where it's just like there's a constant wealth, there's a constant like well of just information to learn. But that information is also accessible and possible, where like a lot of like older games, like you compare it to Plus R, which still
DBS2.
has where it's just like there's no buffer, you can't do things in this game. So like even if like you know how to physically, like you can read a combo on paper, but actually doing that combo is so much harder in Plus R, whereas like in Exert, you can just kind of learn that. It's much more accessible for a new player.
Yeah, you've got a lot of frames of leniency.
Yeah, it's in this really sweet spot of like time of release. So like stylistic choices in the like actual development of it, where there's kind of like old school dankness, but it still has a pretty generous input buffer. It has like modern tutorials. The tutorials in game are actually really good. They have like specific like character matchup trials that are like particularly amazing.
Yes.
And the community is very active now, and then there's just so many documents and information out there, and Exert players generally tend to be pretty nice and like
I
welcoming.
will say,
In my
with a point
experience
of
with
pride, I will say with a point of pride that I've been told multiple times that like the Jamcord documentation or the Jamcord community is like very good at like teaching new players, putting information together so new players can play Jam. And I think that's part of why we have so many Jam players, honestly.
Yeah,
If it counts for anything,
of
even
the
though just
character
this little
Discord's Jam
podcast, you guys took the time to like teach me things about Jam and like just basic combo theory and things like that, and it felt very good.
Right?
And that's a
It
lot
should
more
just
than
feel
I can
good.
say for some other character mains that I've had on, so.
all of this so we can just get high off of pressing a bunch of buttons and mashing. Like that's all this really is. We say all this nice fancy stuff, but what we really want to do is mash up buttons.
You see the red color in the health bar, and we go like, I'm doing good.
That's right. That's right.
All this so I can do IADDP at you, you can block it, and then I can parry you for daring to decide to try to press a button at me.
I was
You
learning how to play
fucking
Eno a while back because I love Eno. I was learning to play Eno, and I was like, I have to wait so long in between button presses. Like, oh my god! Like,
have you ever tried to air like play Jam for a bit and then gone and like play Kai or like Soul and just tried to air dash and just been like,
learning
so
Johnny,
slow.
I was like, what do you mean I gotta wait?
You have to bring along your fidget cube to do in the middle of your own combos.
Yeah,
while you
Jam
order.
is very
I can't
high
just
APM.
mash.
Yeah.
You guys are making me so sad and jealous that I don't live in NorCal right now, which is not something I thought I would ever say.
I find it very poetically like fitting for the character of Jam that Jam specifically has a community of very good teachers. You know,
That's a
the
really
martial
good
arts
point.
character.
We're
Martial arts character, very good at teaching.
I know, right? We're known as the mom friends of the community. Like every Jam player is pretty mom friend. Like we always have like the snacks and the water, and we make sure people at majors are like fed and taken care of. Oh, actually, D, you don't have to be a NorCal, but I do run a beginner and intermediate bracket every month. That Thumbtack of. It's called Only Mids, and it's like really fun, and the vibes are really chill. So if you want to get into it, I can introduce you to the other.
I've never entered an
players
online
in my
bracket
server.
before, so but I'll consider it because I think I will. Ah.
Hell yeah!
Yeah, Irene runs helps with the Play Guilty Gear crew and also runs Only Mids, and then like Akai and we also help run the other weekly extra bracket TXT on Thursdays.
Thursday.
It's kind of on a bit of hiatus right now, but we
And they
run
also have a
Halo.
beginner bracket, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
we usually try to coordinate those so that they're
Yeah,
on the
so that
same
it's
week of the
like-
month.
Right, you guys are what, Thursday, and then I'm usually like the Tuesday after, so.
Awesome.
It is
Yeah.
so cool how coordinated you guys are with like. Damn, you guys are so cool.
And then Pat
community
tweets
is
out
so
a
nice.
schedule every Monday of like the weekly Exert events that are happening, so people don't forget, and it has all the sign up links. Like we're very
By the way, I'm gonna
organized
ask
as a
fuck you for
community.
that core shit you just did to me while I was saying you guys are cool.
I want to listen. It's the mirror match. I don't have to hold back because anything I do to you, you can just do to me. You just gotta learn it. It's fine.
Oh, there's actually another beginner bracket that's bi-weekly as well. It's called Exert Steps, run by Teddy Treebark.
I think-
so there's just so many places to play.
That's
The
so
NorCal
nice.
server, the anime fighting game server, is actually just like the most active Exert server. So if you ever just want casual games, some friendly people to meet and talk to, there's a bunch of people in there that are like at varying levels, skill levels. There's lots of beginners in there as well. Actually, you can probably just ask Thumbtack and he'll point you in the right direction. But yeah,
I'll consider,
It's
yeah.
a real testament
Yeah.
to your experience and your love of the game that you are so willing to be such a force in a community like this and to do so much tangible good for people trying to enter the scene. Because like, yeah, the I guess breadth and depth of knowledge that all of you have kind of shared so far, really it's been super staggering, and the fact that you've been so articulate but also like that it's so concise that I'm able to follow all of this despite being a hyper casual myself, that it feels super infectious, this passion that you have, and I think that's
Jay,
really
part
awesome.
of the
So, like,
friends
big
I'm
up
describing when I say I
all of
want to
you.
get into fighting games are you. You gotta get into Exert, come on.
No, no, I'm being just a little weenie.
And to kind of full circle this, like in our conversation about like simplified fighting games and stuff, is the reason why I spend so much time getting new people into this stuff is because I think people should know that whenever I witness, there's a moment everyone has when they're learning this game or any other fighting game where they crest this hill where there's no turning back, where they're fully in. And they finally get to like, it's different for everybody, but there's a moment where like they finally do a thing that they didn't know they could do, that they didn't believe that they could do, and suddenly it gives them this like totally amazing burst of confidence in themselves. Not just fighting games, but just like in their person, in their character, whatever. Learning how to do hard stuff, I think, is just so good for the human soul. I think it is really good, and I think fighting games make you, or has the potential to make you a better person because of this. And the sort of, I don't want to say like the harder they are, the better it is, but the reward, the proportional reward for that kind of stuff is definitely a thing. And I think Exert just balances it in a way that no other fighting game does. And the community is really, really nice and welcoming. So
That's absolutely the vibe that I'm getting based
yeah.
off of this conversation.
Yeah, and like,
and I just want people to know that like if I can learn to do some of the hardest combos in this game, then like anyone can play this game.
Yeah.
Anyone
Anyone
can do
can
this.
cook.
And like, even if we bring that back to like Jam, and I think why we all like her so much, like just even as just a character, it's like her whole backstory, her whole character is like, I want to do hard things. Like she is a chef,
Yeah.
she is a martial artist, and she doesn't have this. She has this pride in how good she is at these things, but she's worked hard for these things.
Absolutely, yeah.
You see it in like the story mode where she talks to Haehyun.
She mom friends Jacko.
That too, yeah.
Like Haehyun makes like the remark like, "Oh, you only try to do things that you can do and never try to push yourself too hard, and that's why like you're not great at using ki, but then why your fried rice isn't that good." And Jam gets angry. There's about to be heaven or hell. Let's rock. And then Haehyun's like, "Oh no, you put all of your time into cooking. I understand now." this is actually what you care about. This is what you want to do. And I
Her
think
fried
that
rice is so good that it saves the world.
literally
She
the
says
most
it as-
important character Exert.
Being good at the things that only you can do, or being you specifically, is saving the world. And it's such a unique lesson to take. Like, there's not many things that would say that kind of lesson. Most things would be like, well, against all else, be something that is really difficult and unattainable and out of your reach, and maybe even something that you aren't. You know, like, I think there's 10 million stories about being conscripted to be a soldier or something of that sort. Meanwhile, for Jam, it's like, be as authentically as you can be yourself, but you have to challenge yourself and make that self better. Because if you can do that, you are saving your own personal world.
Well said.
I think like my favorite takeaway from her like thematic kit is that like, despite being like, you know, ostensibly the best Chinese chef in the Guilty Gear universe or whatever, she has nothing, right? Like her restaurant is gone. And so what it says is that it's not about the sort of the material aspect of it or like how good she is, right? It's the pursuit of that, and that she is still grinding, right? Like she's still trying to get money no matter what.
I was gonna say for everything that Jam is, she has goals that she can never quite reach, or goals that are constantly taken from her. She falls in love with a guy. Oh, he's taken. He's married. She built
like,
a restaurant.
challenge
It burns
accepted.
down.
Yeah, exactly. It's
I
about the
love
pursuit.
the episode mode where like she's like, Jack goes like, you're running a restaurant, where is it? And Jam's like, it's burned down 4 times already. And she's so chipper, so happy, and Jack goes like, what the hell?
Keep
You're
going.
like,
It's like the best metaphor for fighting games.
Especially compared to the other Guilty Gear characters who let that, like, sadness and that loss affect them so deeply. Like, can you really see, like, Soul Bad Guy saying something like that? Like, Soul Bad Guy would probably just go quiet or ignore it. There's other characters, like, maybe even Faust would get, like, upset about it, but Jam just, like, no, that happened. Yeah. I'm still doing it.
That's life.
That's
fact,
fighting
actually,
games.
Have you guys noticed the fact that like Jam is by far the character that uses ki, like the element of ki. You know how it's literally supposed to be like the hardest element to control.
Yeah.
And she does it like no problem.
Yeah, she's by far the character that best uses ki in the entire franchise by far. Like you have
The
like,
only
it's
person that
suppo-
beats her out on it is Haehyun, and that's because Haehyun is from a family line of people that have trained it.
Exactly.
Generation to
But
generation.
like
The other thing is like she's a master, and like that's not even her main shit, right? She's like, oh, like yeah, I guess, like I'm kind of
a
good.
master on the side.
Yeah, she's like, I'm
on
trying to run a
Tuesdays at
restaurant
4
here.
PM.
Something I think is really cute is that Haehyun has a moment where she's like, "Ki is the energy of the spirit. It is just people as themselves," and that's why the Japanese have the most of it, because them living authentically as like, oh, the first nation was something that was a threat to aerials and the world itself. So and they became gears, which is also like I guess a metaphor for the other of society. So Jam being able to wield ki as she is kind of proves that she is the most herself. She can be herself as easy as like flowing water or something like that.
It has been something like I've always loved about this character is like how she has her heart on her sleeve. She's by no means a perfect person, but she kind of still lives life unapologetically. Not to say like she doesn't do bad things and feels bad about it. No, she wants to settle debts and such.
Okay, well, let's not get hasty. She's a boss bitch, business owning.
She is not a entrepreneur.
She's just doing her best out there. Okay.
She is girl bossing, yeah.
She
I
is
think-
legitimately girl bossing.
I think in terms of like narrative writing, what she is, I think it's called like she has a flat character, or she's like a perfect character in the sense that like other characters, like for example Faust, are looking for what we call the answer or the truth. And
Yeah,
then-
I was
and then-
actually just about to say this. Is that she's
Yeah,
so
like-
well adjusted, she doesn't need a story, right?
Jam
She already
is
has
not
her
there.
shit figured out. Yeah.
Jam is not there to like look for the answer. She already found. She helps others find the answer. She helps Jackal find the answer, for example.
Yeah.
And like again, like the thing about her being able to use ki so well is like we have like Mei. Mei doesn't use ki as far as I'm concerned. She summons dolphins. Angie is Japanese. He doesn't use ki. He uses like wind and the sai and all that. Baiken has like a single attack that is used by ki, and it's her just, and then nothing
Yeah.
else. Jam has 2 specials, or maybe even more. She can channel her specials to improve her other specials, and she has a super,
Yeah.
and
like-
potentially her insta kill. Like and she's not even Japanese. She's not Japanese. Like she literally got to her. I think in the GG World thing, it says that she literally got to where she is via like training and being hard on herself. That's it, and that is so badass.
I haven't.
Baby.
I have it down in my notes.
I mean, okay, like, so aside from, like, that's really funny that's how Guilty Gear lore frames chi as, like, a concept, because chi is Chinese.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry if I was saying it wrong.
No, it works either way. Both are correct. But the arrogance, the stereotypical Japanese imperialistic arrogance of saying that this is an exclusively Japanese thing is so fucking funny to me as a Korean person who is also a victim of Japan's imperialism.
Japan is so fucked. Yeah.
Have you guys noticed that, like, in the story, whenever they say, oh, Japanese people, or they don't say, oh, Nihon or something like that.
They say
oh,
Japanese,
Japanese.
Yeah, because it's like a different
Japanese.
race, right? Like, it's not the same thing as Nihonjin.
I think my understanding is with the way that chi and ki works in Guilty Gear is, like, anyone can use it, but the Eastern spirituality and just how the culture is different is it's easier for them to grasp how to use it, sort of deal, and that's why, like, the other major chi users are Cliff and Chip, who are both huge weeaboos.
It's written in like a GG world that the Japanese all naturally can flow chi the best because they are the first people, which very much Japanese centralism right there, where it's like, oh yeah, they're the only nation.
Extreme. I also always joke that it's like really fucking cruel that my worst matchup in the game is the one Korean character and I'm Korean. I'm like that's come on.
Yeah. Jam versus Haehyun.
Yeah, Japan pitting Korea and China against each other, like sus.
It's okay though, because Jam beats Biken, so I think that makes that maybe that evens out somewhere. I don't know.
Wow, you say that like it's just Jam beats Biken, period.
Yeah,
Don't worry about the rest. Don't worry about the details in between there.
I had it in my notes that
9-1 Jam Biken.
Oh shit, danger time!
Please.
Let's
the
go!
samurai with multiple weapons and katana or these hands.
Oh god, no! We're fucked.
Hey, I hit 2D during danger time.
Okay, wait. For this next round, y'all can only use Ryujin. That's it.
Yeah,
oh no!
You can charge it if you want, but only Ryujins.
You were saying 2K, that's it.
You were saying you had something in your notes that you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, I had it down in my notes that in the series called Guilty Gear of people committing sins that they feel guilty of and not knowing where they fit in society and feeling guilt because of that. There's only 2 characters that feel zero guilt at all, and one of them is Happy Chaos, the main villain of the entire series, whose whole thing is that he feels no more human emotions because he's attained enlightenment, and it's just fucked up that he can't feel guilt anymore. And the other one is Jam, who is like a Bruce Lee mentor who has the answer to life and is just like casually going around cooking good food, making people feel good.
I was just saying that, like, she does, like, in Reload, one of her storylines is that, like, Ino gives everyone fake bounty lists because for the lulz, basically, just wants to cause trouble. And on Jam's fake bounty list, she has Milia, she has Venom, she has Johnny, who all have real bounties, so it really wasn't that big of a list, I guess. But after Jam goes and hunts them down for their bounties, and then realizes the fake list, and then gets back at Ino and beats the crap out of her for tricking her, she then goes and apologizes to Venom and Milia and Johnny by building a quick stall and treating them to dinner. Like, she feels bad. She's like, I have to pay my debts. This was wrong. I shouldn't have beaten more guys up. And then Milia and Venom repay her by getting drunk and beating the crap out of each other, destroying the stall in the process. So, add another one onto the list.
I think more what that fact that Dee is bringing up is more that, like, she is so unapologetically herself. Right, she's the most self-possessed character in the cast. She's got her shit figured out. She has zero doubts about her choices, right? Like, she's doing
like the most
like Jam players.
mature.
Like Jam players, she has the most conviction of anyone.
Yes. Yeah, you have to have a lot of conviction to be a Jam player because, like, you gotta just trust. You gotta just trust what you're going to do is going to work.
You have to trust the process.
This is a character where you are forced to gamble because that is where she gets her biggest payouts. And so if you don't have conviction, then this is not the character for you.
I've had people,
Unless you're
like,
Sweet Jam.
I'm at 1 HP. Wow. I've had people like, I'm at 1 HP and I'm just running pressure, and people are like, but if I flash kick, you would have lost. And I'm like, yeah,
But you didn't flash
But you
it.
didn't. But you didn't.
I would have. But if I didn't go in, I also would have lost. So you just have to not flash kick, and if I die, I die. I'm sorry. Like,
That's
In the words of Bruce Lee, yet again, there is no enemy. But
Is it frozen for you too?
It
Yeah,
we
is.
got the GRC
Fuck.
here, the Green Roman
Please
cancel.
wait.
classic
That'd be a good
moment.
place to wrap it up, though.
Yeah, no, I just wanted
Has been
to
most
go back and
hours.
say, yeah, no, we're probably looking to close it soon. I think, yeah, what Dee was really aiming at there was that Jam is almost refreshing when you kind of compare her to the rest of the cast, because even though one of the things that I really like about Guilty Gear, what really drew me in, was the melancholic, animated, dramatic bullshit, it's so interesting to see almost like a Goku type character through Jam, where they have that magnetic charm, where they're more about like self-improvement and discipline and just kind of guiding other characters on their right path, like you all were saying, and being that flat character against which the character suffering through their
They're
melancholic
going through
anime
their
bullshit.
character arcs, yeah.
Yeah,
everyone
that
else
she's the
has
sounding
all this,
board.
has all this anime angst of, I'm an assassin, I was adopted, and everyone I love was killed, and Jam's just like, okay, that is really sucks. I'm sorry, but
Jam's like worst
What's
problem
nice
in
to
life
be
is that the
able to make
guy
it
she
better?
likes is married, and that even that doesn't really stop her.
No,
But
she
yeah,
just keeps
yeah.
trying.
I think that's one of
There's
the real
other guys
beauties
out there.
about her character, is that she has this simple, elegant philosophy that guides her through life, and that it really it like doesn't falter, that it works so perfectly for her, and it's something that helps other people along their way. I think Jam is a great mom friend in that regard, where you can bring these really complicated issues that feel like they're so intimately interwoven with every aspect of your life that it's impossible to overcome, and then she just presents it and reframes it in such a simple way that it's like, oh wait, you know what, like this is doable, like things are simple. The thing that we talked about on the Jacko podcast episode is the way that she kind of encourages Jacko to keep living as herself, where it's like, do you need a reason to get up again after I knock you over? No, you just do it. You keep walking and moving forward and living life, because like we were saying before, that's what saving the world is. And to someone like Jam, like that's so matter of fact, like a revelation that changes Jacko's life for Jam is just something to
That
say.
is the moment that made me fall in love with Jam. Like, absolutely, like
Yeah,
that was
same.
the final straw.
Same.
I
It was very
love that
relatable
part
for
of
me
it.
because I get that kind of comment about me all the time too.
Something I
No,
really
yeah,
think
and
is sweet too is that like it wasn't just a random moment. Sometimes I hate with stories that they'll have this like monumental moment for a character, but it never gets brought up again. But no, Jacko is giving those exact same lessons to Nagoriyuki, and she even references Jam. She's like, yeah, Kung Fu Girl was the one that told me how to be myself and how to live in this world by protecting
that's
myself.
So cute.
yeah, Jacko makes a reference, like, she says what at one point as well, it's like, a certain kung fu girl told me, when questions don't have answers, just start punching. So it's like, Jam passed down. Yeah, Jam absolutely had an impact on Jacko, and I just a bit of trivia. It's really cute because like their voice actors are also well known as well, because the Japanese voice actors are also Hireri and Anzu and Idolmaster, they're also best of friends in that series as well.
Aw.
So it's like it's just
Aw.
kind of a cute like continuing like, yeah, these voice actors get to play characters that are friends again, so that's really cute too.
It reminds me of how things like Yuri Lowenthal and I can't remember her
Diana
name,
Ross.
but the lady that plays Mitsuru in Persona, that they're
Oh,
married.
okay. Yeah, so yeah, I think it's like there have been like so many times where just like I look at Jam and her philosophy and just like I just remind myself, it's like, well, if I give up, then that's the only way I can be defeated. So like, you know, like if I just keep trying, keep going, then eventually I'll succeed. You know, like as long as I don't give up, I can keep trying, I keep getting up and keep going. Coquette, this clip that you just posted, is this what I think it is?
This I wanted to illustrate the utter conviction of a Jam player.
Is this the I'm about to win this match? Oh no.
I really
the
do like.
perfectly timed time to win. Oh no.
I really do like that to that point, Amadeus, because in a way it also makes her serve as like the perfect crystallization of her own philosophy, where like just by living her life in an honest way and doing the things that she wants to do and focusing on improving herself, like that has a dramatic ripple effect on the whole rest of the cast in the way that it influences Jacko, and then she reaches out to Nago. That makes her want to reach out to Ino later in Strive, and then, you know, the consequences of that like just spiral outwards, and it all just starts from one very simple
Damn, is
instructional
Jam
moment
the
of, like,
most
live
important
well.
character of the
Jeez.
Exorcist story?
People like Jam's like a C tier story importance. No,
Yeah.
she saved the world multiple times.
She did.
Yeah.
Like she
It's-
may not have paragraphs of quotes and lore to draw from like we have with a lot of the other characters, but the few things that she's doing really do matter, and I think that that's really beautiful.
I find it funny to think that, like, come to think of it, like, doesn't this mean that, like, back when she got rid of the Dizzy head, and she got rid of it by saying, "Oh yeah, I kicked her and she blew up." and then the government was like, "Yeah, sounds pretty good to me here."
She was very forceful with her explanation, and they just, yeah, you know
I kicked
what?
her and she blew into a million little pieces.
Please take
Okay,
the
good.
money, and the exit is over there. Please.
Get out.
Jam players really are, more than anyone else who plays this game, their character.
Absolutely getting that vibe.
Right? We are both externally perceived as like very maybe simple is the wrong word. Straightforward, let's say.
Blunt?
But also full of feelings. You'll find that Jam players are just always in their feels, like all the time.
I think that's the cool thing about Jam, is that she's like a sort of representation of the fact that there is nothing like, just because you
cross up.
live a simple life doesn't mean that you don't have that same sort of like emotional depth and understanding
Yeah.
as someone else. Like there is an elegance underlying a simple, honest, hardworking life.
Yeah, she's just like she will cry and complain and you know whinge about things, but she'll still do the thing. She'll do it. She'll
Yeah.
cry and complain while she's still grinding, right? Like, it's
Exactly.
great.
Do it scared.
I love her win quote against Heihi, and just like, I can't read your key. That's not fair. Hold on. Like,
Jam
she's-
players know the Leo flash kick is coming, and they'll be like, I'll just press region anyway. I don't know.
Sorry,
just
all I
won't
can
do it.
imagine is that when you said that, oh, she read the key and then was like, oh, got it. Is that like Jam is like, oh, you know, let me see if I can beat you. Pulls up your start.gg. Oh yeah, I got this.
Yeah.
That is literally Ama at like every major. He's like, whatever.
Actually, one of
I do. That is so real.
one of my favorite win quotes in Xrd actually comes and like again something that ties back into like Jam being super wise, despite being also super silly, and like her gameplay being such a monkey gameplay game style. It's her win quote against Viken because it's like so
Oh
profound.
yeah. She makes the remark. I'll make the encyclopedia knowledge check, I guess, where she's essentially saying
Is that the one about the fire?
it's the one
Yeah.
no, it's the one where if you make the fire too hot, the pan will get burned, and a burned pan is no good for anything. You can't cook with it, you can't wash it. So if the fire gets too hot, then you'll just ruin everything. So, and then she refers to Viken, your fire is too hot. You need. She's basically, as many people in Guilty Gear have told Viken, chill the hell out. Like,
Yeah.
you're living your life in such a destructive way. Live for yourself for once. Like just step away a little bit, take in a deep breath.
She also, I just want, like, as a segue, she also just gives the most Chinese mom advice to Elfel
She really does.
in her win quote, where she's like, "You're going out in that?" Like, she's like, "Cover up, bitch!" Like,
Cover up.
Imagine
Exactly.
like she got like Jam comes out in Strive and it's like, you're going out with that? Like hell no. And I was like, yeah, bitch, slay with the new.
you know,
new
like
idol
Chun Li got to transform into her ultimate MILF form. They should let Jam be a Chinese mom for the next one.
I really
I
wanted to bring this up.
totally-
I'm so glad that you did. And I, referring back to Jam's design, that the fact that it just feels like Daisuke was like, okay, Bruce Lee characters, every fighting game needs one. All right, time for me to make mine. Well, I don't really like Bruce Lee, but I really like Chun-Li. What if I just kinda... And then made Jam, and he was a genius for this.
That is one thing I will say. One thing that I actually really hope for, and this is a bit of a hot take, I admit, I like her River City Girls design. I really do. I think it's a very cute outfit. what I would rather see if she ever gets a new outfit is to push more into her chef side of her thing. Give her like a professional chef sort of look. Give her her restaurant. You may play more into that. Don't necessarily play into the martial arts. But like I would really love to see her like with like the professional professional chef like you see on like Iron Chef. They've got like the big chef suits. Like play up that aspect more even. Let her live more like that even more than just like martial artist or something. So I think that would be really cool.
I'd love to see if they do something different with her hairstyle.
That would be so hard. I think that is
So iconic.
I don't think they would to begin with. Like her, but they changed Dizzy's hairstyle because I think it was just eating up way too much of her silhouette, and I really like the change they made. But for Jam, I think you cannot have Jam without her circular hair. You just cannot.
You can't have a Jam without her. Like I don't even know what to call it. Like it's like a Japanese like arc door thing.
I've heard it donut, ox ring. Like I've heard it so many different.
Yeah, I mean like the thing like right above her head, like not necessarily like the thing.
Oh, her
Oh,
can?
can.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
oolong tea.
Her oolong tea.
Yeah,
tea.
the oolong
actually-
thing and like the fact that like her hair looks like this one Japanese door or arc. I don't know how it's called. I have no idea how it's called.
Are you talking about Tori?
I think so. Yeah.
The red gates.
Oh, the gates.
Yeah, the red gate. Yeah, it looks like that.
I don't know about
see it.
ascribing Japanese architecture to her, but the Chuhai can is very cute.
Yeah. I think that's actually the other thing. I think when people are like, "Oh, if Jam gets in Strive, she should have a River City Girls outfit." I disagree entirely.
I also disagree. I think it's a completely different aesthetic, and I also
It's a
think
different vibe.
it doesn't emphasize the correct parts of Jam, which I think are her long circular motions, both in her hair and her sleeves, and all of her like everything has to build a
Circles.
perfect circle for her.
Circles.
Yes, you press like her crouching heavy or her standing heavy, and you just see her arms swing. And to lose like her giant sleeves moving in those big circles, to lose that from an animation standpoint, as an artist, I would just tell myself, why would I do that? I have the perfect design here for shoulders. Like, why would I get rid of that?
Yeah.
To like have like a cool jacket. And don't get me wrong, a girl in a cool jacket is great character.
Give her a cool Chinese jacket
Let's look
with
at
cool
mine, for
sleeves,
example.
right? Like that would be sick.
Yeah.
Look at what they did to my Shiranui.
Go crazy with the Bruce Lee references. Give her like a dragons on the sleeves. Give her like a I don't know, cool jacket.
Make her become the Dragon of Illyria. She is now the newest Yakuza character.
I think they do push because there is like in Strive and you get the credits, they show everyone where are they now sort of thing. And I think in Strive they imply that she's like hanging out with Haehyun a lot now, and like it's like Haehyun's personal chef for the family. So
I think that's very cute.
While I have an audience here, and this is not aimed at anyone,
Yeah.
but because I'm Korean, I need to say this. The name is
Yes,
pronounced
please correct.
Haehyun.
Haehyun?
Haehyun. Yeah, Haehyun. Hyun. It's a sound that does not exist in Japanese, so that's why you hear hyun a lot. But it's Haehyun. It's
Haehyun.
exactly how it's spelled. Yeah, Kun Haehyun.
Thank you.
The head noise is kind of hard for people, so I think Haehyun is fine. Like I will call her Haehyun to not sound weird in conversation. But yeah,
I think it's just in the game they say Hyun, so everyone's like, okay, I guess that's just
yeah, exactly. Because that
Haehyun.
sound doesn't exist in Japanese, so they can't say it. But yeah.
Actually, wait, you sound like you're saying it with an N at the end, but isn't it an M?
No, it's an
No,
M.
it's an N.
Haehyun. Yeah.
Damn, my
Kun
memory
So-
is bad.
I wanted to talk about the fact that her last name is a Kuradoberi, which also is a Japanese spelling. How would it actually be in Chinese if they did it correctly? Would it be like Kuradoberi or like or Kura?
It's
Kuradoberi.
it depends. Like, it would depend on how you read the characters, and there's several different ways to read these characters, so you could pick a bunch of different ways to say it. So I don't know if that's like the most productive thing, but I actually was
sorry.
going to bring up no, it's totally fine. It's just like there's just so many different readings of each character that you can kind of mash them up in a dozen different ways, which is why it's like it's hard to say like how you would say this in Chinese.
My guess would be that like they would say like Kuraudo.
I mean, do you mean like actually pronouncing the characters themselves? Because that would be different.
Yeah, no, I meant that. It's different. Yeah, sorry.
Like, because if you look up like the like, I don't want to get into like Onyomi Kunyomi stuff, but like, there's two ways to pronounce a Chinese character in Japanese, and they're completely different, and it's totally arbitrary, and sometimes there can be up to like 5 different ways to say it in each way. So like that's why it's
like the way there's 3 different kanji.
I mean,
Like just a matter
ultimately,
of picking the
ultimately,
one you
at
want.
the end of the day, like her name is Cloudberry Jam. She's
Yeah.
named after a Swedish pop band, so
Mm-hmm.
very little Chinese reference in her name. So
Yeah.
The band
I
is
think
okay
the-
too.
yeah,
On
they're
the
good
topic
band.
of music, does Babel is it nose or nose? Like does it mean anything? Babel knows.
So Babel knows the correct, at least how I've always seen it correctly, like spelled in the English releases, has been Babel knows. But I think it's generally considered Babel noise is supposed to be the correct.
That is
Yeah.
I
see. Yeah.
And I think that it is in reference to like just having a different language. Obviously, Tower of Babel, everyone has different languages, so that Babel noise is like that nonsense language. And Jam does kind of have that, talks really fast, yaps a lot. So
I was imagining that it's relating to Bruce Lee and his like nonsensical yata wachas, where it's like they don't exactly mean anything, but it's like you could consider them babble and you could consider them noise, but they are still so iconic to his character and who he is and like the identity he's built that it's also become part of Jam's character.
I do love that the characters they use for her name, Jam, is like Gossamer Dream. That's so romantic.
Hell yeah.
I've heard it as Fragile Dream, which I imagine might tie to how often her restaurant burns down.
Oh, that's so sad.
Like she has this dream of running like her like chain restaurant, and then it just doesn't happen every single time. She's so close every single time, and then something awful happens to her. And she has to start over again.
Fragile. I'm pretty sure that's the character for like Gossamer. So I don't know about that one, but yeah.
Well, like, there might be something to the fact that, like, you know, when you think Gossamer, you do think of, like,
That's
something
true.
that is fragile.
Something
so-
ephemeral, yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of kanji, I love her instant kill.
Oh yes, yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
good.
it's so much fun hearing Zoomers say like, "Oh wow, they put a Jujutsu Kaisen reference in."
So true.
They say that?
I've seen,
I don't know if it's been ironic or not. but yeah.
I think her IK is probably the most like perfect illustrative thing about Jam players, right? Like I said, like they will do the thing, but they're gonna do it while they're crying. Like they'll do it. Don't worry, they'll do it. But they're gonna complain. They're gonna cry. They're gonna feel bitter.
yeah. So for those that don't know, in Jam's IK, she gives the I believe it's a Buddhist reading. Someone please correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But it's Tenjo Tenka Yuika Dokuso, which is in heaven and earth I stand alone, or I stand alone under the heavens, essentially. And I've seen. Well, I've seen people give this reading as like, oh, it's because Jam doesn't have a boyfriend, and that's not what this
That
means.
seems shallow, yeah.
Yes, it's like I think, like I mentioned, it is a Buddhist saying, and it is saying like I live myself true to myself. Essentially, I am me. I am the only me, and there is not another me like me out there, sort of deal. So now her instant kill itself is called Gasen Kotsu, which I believe translates to narcissism. So she may be being a bit self-absorbed when she says this, but the original Buddhist saying does give that meaning. So.
Stamp.
I love that she kills you with the power of a bitter flashback.
Yeah.
Like
She
you don't
channels
even
it.
matter. You don't even matter to her. She's just so upset that she's like, "Fuck, I need to kick you."
You can't hurt me more than the fact my restaurant burned down.
Exactly.
She's
Imagine if,
thinking
like-
Robokai. She's thinking of Robokai the entire time. Whoever's on the receiving end doesn't matter. She's thinking of
Yeah,
Robokai.
imagine if instead of kicking you from the power of a sad memory or like an annoying memory, she just like remembers like that one embarrassing moment in high school and she just cringes so hard that she has to
Yeah,
kill you.
that sounds like a shit. I just read a cool fact that I had no idea. BlazBlue character Lychee, her character theme Oriental Flower is a remixed version.
remix.
Yes, I
Of
was going to
Jam.
talk about that. BlazBlue is no stranger to taking Guilty Gear character designs and BlazBlueifying them. Like, obviously, Ragna is BlazBlue's version of Soul in a couple ways, and I know people would get mad if I said that, but it is the truth. Like, you know, Iron Tiger is Potemkin, but again, and Lychee is Jam, or like Mori's version of Jam, because her character is also that she's chasing after this guy that is completely unattainable for her. Obviously, Lychee is a way more important character than Jam and does way more than what I just described, but I think on the slim basis of sexy Chinese woman. That is what she is.
It feels that archetype, yeah.
Yeah.
Might also.
So I will say, I like while I like Litchi a lot, something that I don't like about Litchi that I feel Jam does better, and that's saying a lot, is the fact that like Litchi is way more sexualized.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
I think
and-
that can be tied to
That's just
Mori's,
lazy.
Mori's writing style in general.
Yeah.
I think that's.
Yeah,
I don't-
Mr.
I don't
Mr.
think
spending
this-
an interview comparing boob sizes.
Yeah, I don't
Oh
want
my
to
God, really?
turn into Guilty Gear versus Blaze. I think that's
Like, I also
something-
hate Jam's fucking vacuum sealed ass design.
Oh,
I was
same,
gonna
yeah.
say, I
Yeah.
think Jam's design is perfect with the one exception that I hate her boob socks. I just, I
Yes.
can't get with it.
It makes me
Yeah.
like viscerally uncomfortable. It like, of course, hypersexualization of it is like, ugh, you know. But like, just looking at it makes me feel physically uncomfortable. Like, ooh, can you imagine how like sweaty
It's so
it gets in there?
sensory, yeah.
Yeah,
Ugh.
something that
Anyone
something that I
likes
feel
actually.
something similar is like when I look at Manon in Street Fighter 6. You know how her shorts, like in her standard outfit, like her shorts like literally crease into her ass, like
Yeah.
literally.
Ah,
in between her
that
butt.
shit makes me
That
so
is
uncomfortable.
disgusting. Like that must be so dirty. That is so unhygienic.
Optimal wedgie.
And for the people that say like, oh, it wouldn't be sexy if you couldn't see her boobs and how they flap in alternating directions. First of all, that's messed up. It's,
Shut up.
But just to say, it's hotter when you put make it look normal to me. Honestly, like it looks better when it's drawn normal.
Sexy is what you don't see.
Yeah.
Look at what they did with
True.
Ino in Strive.
Saying that. She literally tells Ramethal in her wind coat, like, boys will like you more if you cover up a little bit more. Like,
Leave a little to the
Erotica is the
imagination, you know?
implication of a thing. Yeah.
right.
Yeah, like with Ino, like they literally covered her up more and they made her harder by that by doing that.
It's so true. Genuinely so true. Absolutely loving those Strive design.
Can I do a hot take here for a quick second? I really like Jam's voice, and if they ever added this Strive, I
Thank
don't want them
you.
to change
Thank
it.
you.
I think like.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we
I've
all
heard them
we all
say
love
like,
it.
oh, I can't listen to Exerd when Jam is on screen. She's screaming. Oh, it's so shrill, and it's like
It's
that's
so
what's
cool.
so good. Like,
It sounds so neat in my
I
ears.
talk as a very old player. I feel like so much of this is just legacy. Her voice she's got two different voice actors from XX to Exerd. In XX, especially in Reload, she was voiced by Manami Komori, if I remember right. And she wasn't really a prolific voice actress, and she's since retired. But her voice in Reload is actually great, and it is legitimately an annoying voice in Reload. And I, say
I have
that
not
with
really
a lot
heard
of
her voice in Reload. I'm gonna go give that a listen after
Yes.
this.
Accent Core, they re-recorded all the voice lines, and she's much better. It's still Manami Komori in Reload, or in Accent Core, but the voice lines are much more okay. But then in Extra, they gave her a different voice actress, and I feel like a lot of it is just like people have heard for years that Jam has an annoying voice because she had an annoying voice back in Reload, and people just stay with that regardless of whether or not it's true anymore.
Yeah, it's the Eno is hard
Yeah,
effect.
it was hard. It's like hearing that, like, oh, Slayer is a bad character in Exer because he was bad in Sign, and now he's like winning brackets all over the place, or that
You know-
sort of thing. So
Yeah,
it's
bottom two, man.
yeah.
Yeah,
Legacy
you
glitch.
think Slayer is a bad character, and then he gets you stunned.
Yeah,
How can
and-
anyone say he's bottom two when you got shit like Bedman, Answer, Ramlethal, like?
Well, don't
Well,
listen
take
to
the answer off the list.
Whoa, not the answer propaganda. Whoa.
I gotta do this for my
was
boy
better than
Zach. I
that.
gotta.
I have to deal with Thumbtack's ass. I have had to deal with Thumbtack's ass for the last 4 years of him playing Answer. No Answer downplaying. I hate that character.
He is a solid mid tier, and anyone who says he's bottom 3.
I love it.
Should
I
fight,
hope
should
he
fight
never comes
Faulty.
back.
By the way,
should
before
fight
this comes off as
Sanchez.
slander for Tack, I will say that Tack was up playing him really hard for on the episode I did with him. So
good.
Good.
Attack. This is why we like you.
Yeah.
Until he does Cardwire Seed, then we don't like him.
Well, I mean,
Fucking.
listen, you can't stop a dog from doing dog things, so.
Did
I
you
can't
see the
stop an
one,
answer
um,
player.
I know that the response to this would just be stop running forward, but we're Jam players.
and then just parry.
did you see the
Yeah.
one?
You don't just ask a Slayer player to block.
Exactly.
The one meme that was drawn that was like Adam Sandler's something vacation or whatever it was, and sorry, 8 Crazy Nights, and then it was Answer's YRC card.
It's funny that you brought up CVS2 earlier, because Pat is also like, that's his game more than Exerd, more than anything else. Like CVS2 is his game. That's his identity. That's the legacy of NorCal, right? And the legacy specifically of NorCal CVS2 is that they have good ass footsies because of John Choi.
Yes.
And so he was like, I will not let a wife of mine not learn how to play neutral. So I don't care if you play Jam, you're gonna fucking learn how to play neutral. I was like, okay.
Yeah,
You're gonna learn to fear whenever I press forward.
It's interesting
Yeah,
you
and
say
Chip
that,
is really good at making Jam stop running forward.
Oh yeah, he
I
has
was for a little
stop
bit.
signs.
We're like, damn, maybe we should stop, and then we land one sloptimal 6H, and we're like, never mind.
why would I ever
Everything
stop?
else is justified.
Yeah, I will say I did not learn how to play a neutral game until playing Exerd, because actually Core Jam is so enabling.
Yeah.
You get 25 meter and it's
What
like, yeah,
neutral?
spending neutral is about getting hit and then just doing your wake up DP and then taking off more life bar than they have. So.
We're coming up to 2 hours now, so I figure we should start moving into the closing sections of the podcast. And I think I'll leave off with one thing of like, you guys have anything, like, any other Jam thoughts running around in your head before we close it out?
She's the best. She's the best. That's
She's
all
the
I got.
She is the
You fully convinced me on Jam, so.
I am a believer that she is easily one of the best Guilty Gear waifus. Like literally, she would literally improve your life. Like you know
We did
how
it, y'all. We
sometimes,
did it.
You see a character that is like everyone loves them, but then you think about like actually being in a relationship with them realistically, and then you realize that it would suck. Like for example, I don't know, Power from Chainsaw Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, everyone loves her, but then you start thinking about how it would actually work.
We
like,
all
their
remember
relationship.
the-
And then you're like,
Totally.
yeah, no, I don't want that.
I will say that, and this is, I guess, from a very personal part of mine, because I've been playing Guilty Gear for so long, because of playing Jam and I've struggled with depression for a long part of my life, and Jam was actually one of those characters, like we talked about earlier. Just keep moving forward, don't give up, be true to yourself, and it's like all those lessons are something that honestly pulled me out of some pretty dark times. And Guilty Gear as a series is how I met so many friends like Akai, like Irene. You guys are some of my best friends. I've met my soon-to-be my wife, Jam Kuradoberi. So like the series means so much to me. It really means a lot for me to be even beyond this podcast, because this character, like, I get it, I'm that Jam guy, and I think a lot of people like just like, oh, Amma just really likes Jam, like, haha, funny. This character changed my life for the
Yeah.
better in so
Yeah.
many ways. So yeah, it means a lot to me to even be on here again. Thank you.
You
all
said
so
things to
much.
be on here, but genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for coming on. I feel so, like, happy to be able to talk to some cool people and learn new things. I genuinely do want to start entering some online brackets, and I
Hell yeah.
think I might even start picking up Jam as a main, because
Hell yeah.
she's gelling.
Oh, we lost another Eno player. Damn it! I always do this.
Well, in my defense, you're gonna hate me saying it, Eno was hard in this game, so...
We shield Jam too
Definitely
hard.
not. Yeah, there's some stuff you have to definitely like practice, but then after that, she's brainless. she's like if Leo could fly.
Holy shit!
She's
Yeah.
Leo in the air.
We'll have you go play Plus Arino for a week, and then you can come to Exerdino, and you'll be like, wow, this is easy. Like, what was it doing?
I played a bit of Plus Reno, it's difficult,
Go ahead.
like force breaking her like dust into like I like what she can do in the game. Half circle stroke was weird for me. Just
Plus Eno is definitely like RSI waiting to happen.
It's
Yes.
ridiculous, yeah. Too much.
That looks way too. Yeah. I'm actually surprised it didn't come up sooner, but we did mention the shared Jam brain cell, but what we didn't mention was the Jamly, and I will drop a picture I did of the Jamly, but there is a concept, a thing we have and embody and love that many you'll hear other players try to have something similar, but it's real for us, and it's called the Jamly, and it's not every Jam player. Not every Jam player is kind of within the family or whatever, and they're not like excluded, but there's a group of us that are very serious about the game and the players and the community and each other, and it very much feels like a family. And I consider Akai my better older Jam sibling, and I always call Amma Mama Deus, and Sweet Jam is Sweet Dad. He probably played with me the most, so I play the most like Sweet Jam. And then there's Uncle the Jigsaw and Uncle Bismarck, like there's everyone. The Jam players are so, because we're all like mom friend coded or whatever, right? We're all always giving each other shit lovingly, always helping each other whether or not we want it. And because we're always so in touch with our feelings, like there's just feelings everywhere, and so it makes for this really affectionate group of people who super duper care about each other. And that is actually probably my favorite thing about being a Jam player is the other Jam players.
Oh yeah.
So
That is
sweet.
very wholesome.
Yeah, I was really happy when Irene started playing Jam, because me and Pat played in Attention Pulse, and she decided she wanted to start playing Jam, and then Akai also signed up for NKO all those years ago, and it's like, oh boy, I have new Jam players, and Akai gave me shit because they were complaining that everyone in this bracket knows how to fight Jam, and I'm just trying to learn this game. What have you done to me? But now you're like one of the strongest players in North America, getting 13th at Combo Breaker, so you're welcome.
It's all your fault.
Yeah. So
My
it's
best
like,
placement.
You guys have something
13th
like
at Evo.
truly special, and I really hope I can get something like that one day too, because that's so cool that you guys have that kind of community with fighting games. It's really special. I don't have many other words to say other than that's so fucking cool, and I'm really happy for you guys.
If you
that's the
seriously
Jamily.
if you keep talking to Thumbtack about this stuff, he will connect you with the folks that can be this for you. Like, Exerd players really are just that nice.
Our community is. I've seen a
think
lot
it's
of online
literally the
communities.
best one,
It's
yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It is actually the best one.
And with that, I guess this is a wrap for the Jam Kuradoberi podcast. I'm
Hell
losing all my
yeah.
words now. Thank you all for coming on. If you
Thanks
have
for
watched
having
this
us.
video, all I have to say is please check out Only Mid's beginner bracket. Please try out Exerd. Please try out Jam. As was said earlier in the video, you are the #1 best Jam player if you are
No
playing
more
her right now.
jams, please. I hate the mirror. No more jams.
Don't play Jam after seeing this video. Play
Play Eno. Play
play
Eno.
Play Eno,
Eno.
you'll make me really happy. Or play Bike and you'll make me really happy.
Or play Answer so you can make us all suffer.
Yay! Yippee!
But thank you all for joining.
Thank you for having us.
Like and subscribe, I guess. Bye!
Um,
Let me get